Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Unfiltered live stream. I am Sam Jones, also known as BrickKeeper, and here we are, Saturday night, 7:30. We're all here. Well, I'm here, and we're going to do what we always do and have some random conversation and try it and talk about Lego, maybe in some way, shape, or form. But to do that, I need to bring some people with me. As always, the man from Wales has arrived and arrives on time. It's Mr. Craggle.
Hello! You actually kicked us out this time.
Yeah.
Well, previously you've just launched the stream here.
I just go however I'm feeling.
Oh, okay then.
You know, and today I felt like, yeah, I want to kick you out.
Yeah, I kind of felt earlier that you had the inclination to kick me.
Well, let's just keep you on the right side of this and not test my remove button again.
I honestly thought you were about to rage quit our friendship this morning, but there you go.
I don't possibly know what you're talking about.
We'll talk about that later.
Also with us today is Space Time.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
Doing great. Getting back to the skies.
Good. You enjoying your photography stuff at the moment?
I am. And I'm prepping for my trip to Pennsylvania next Thursday.
Excellent.
So yeah.
Pennsylvania? Oh, who do you know who lives in Pennsylvania?
Brick Attacked.
Ah.
Yeah, I know. And I'm gonna go.
I didn't think you had any connection to Pennsylvania.
No. So, speaking of which, I'm gonna need Greg's address so I can make a surprise visit.
Just swing on by.
Because there's
I don't have his home address. I have his PO box.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll just
you can just go there and hope he comes by for a mail attack.
Park opposite. Get the binoculars out.
I'll be on the next episode of Mail Attack.
A big bow on your head.
So this evening we have in the chat Lady Sam B. Good evening. We have Jacob Neely, who's clearly jetted off to a very distant planet, maybe Krypton. We also have Mrs. Craggle.
Hey, sexy.
And Jacob's come far and wide.
Yeah, I have no idea what that means, but okay.
So, as we're on the topic of the
Winter Wang.
Winter Wang, yes. The other day I was setting up this stream on StreamYard, and one of the things I do is copy the description because I've got lots of hashtags and everybody's links in the bottom of the description. But I always like to amend the top bit to say what's going on. It seems that in the last stream, in the description, I put the whole Wang will be here. And I left that published on YouTube. And I still have, because, do you know what? It's there now.
And no one noticed, and you told me.
No one noticed.
You were setting it up whilst you were on a call with me. And he was like, Craggle. For the last week the stream has been up, it says the whole Wang is here.
Yep. Quite literally says that in the description. So when I asked last night for suggestions for witty titles on Craggle's Discord server, Craggle came out with Last of the Summer Wang, which great reference to both my mistake in my description and Last of the Summer Wang, so well done. But I decided to go with Last of the Winter Wang because hopefully we'll start getting near some better weather.
Well, do you know in the UK they've now extended, or technically they haven't extended. I correct myself there. They have issued a new weather warning because the other one ran out technically yesterday at noon, even though a lot more damage happened throughout the whole course of the day. So yeah, because we've had the worst storm in decades in the UK. It's been unreal. Funny enough, though, they were saying that was going to happen Friday, at least in like my area of South Wales. we had horrendous wind Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It took a day off Thursday. Friday it started slowly, and we were like, "Did they get it wrong?" And then it just went whang. It went whang, people, not bang, but whang. It's like bang with wind. And like the whole country is just being absolutely battered like a piece of fish in a fryer on a Friday night by this terrible, terrible wind. The Millennium Dome has been shredded.
Yes, it has.
I mean, I don't know if I can use the metaphor on the stream that I did when I told Sam about the news. I think even on an unfiltered stream, I think it might be a bit much.
I think there's probably pushing it just a tiny little bit.
Yeah.
It's done a number in a lot of places around the UK. I mean, we lost power here yesterday for 2-3 hours, but there's still thousands of homes without power even now.
Yeah.
We don't do storms well here, evidently.
In Butte, Cornwall, there was like a 400-old oak that was in like the town centre, just got uprooted, and luckily didn't hit any buildings. But it was like, what the hell? And I mean, on the Tuesday before the storm properly hit, in Bridgend, which I guess you could say is down the road from us in Cardiff,
I know.
a wind turbine, the very thing that is meant to harness the power of the wind, got snapped in half and flattened by the wind. The very thing that is meant to take the power of the wind and harness it for good was destroyed by it.
Yeah, and that's
hardcore.
Yeah, that's how good this wind was.
How good it was! I would give it 10 blows out of 10 on the wind scale.
Yeah, man. It was. It's like you say, it's done a number on things here in the UK. So,
well, even today I went to the supermarket, and obviously, a typical British fashion, people obviously panic buyed before Friday.
No,
there's so many roads then are closed. Then on the Friday, I think they closed both 7 bridges for the first time ever. And there was hardly anything on the shelves, especially like fresh stuff like milk and bread and stuff. I
was going to say nobody wants to go to Wales anyway, mate. To be honest,
how dare you, sir? You're an English man who keeps wearing an American flag and is dating an Australian. You have no country pride anyway.
I served my queen in my country.
Giggity. You served your queen in your country. Why did Elizabeth visit McDonald's on your shift?
Yeah, gave her a good cheeseburger.
Way.
Wow. Yes, Jacob, that is exactly why it's funny. We do understand what
I love when people do that. They're like, "Oh, this is when people don't realize that you're making a joke." It's. I remember once I said to someone, they were talking about handshakes during COVID early days. I was on the stream, and they were saying, "Oh, we'll have to do fist bumps in the future." I went, "Yeah, they say fist bumps are more hygienic, but who's not to say you can't get shit on your fist?" And then, I would thought it was funny, but then this guy turned around and was like, "Wait, you do realize that you sound like you're talking about fist in there?" I was like, "Yeah, that's the joke.
That's the point."
Yeah,
that's where I was going.
I had a little insight to what it must be like to be space time on these streams. Every time he makes a joke, and we all go quiet.
The good old days.
How are you doing anyway, Space Time? You're quite quiet today.
I've actually opened up my Temple of Gozer and trying to put some finishing touches on that. I think I may be purchasing a figure soon for that.
Interesting. Yes, I have had a little bit of an update. Apparently, the torsos for my Gozer minifigure are completed. So,
ooh,
yeah.
Oh,
I'm quite excited.
Ooh, my.
I've ordered the last of the pieces I need, like myself, the ones that aren't going to be printed. Because I think I mentioned on the last stream, on either that or I mentioned on the call with Sam. I don't know. I forget what I tell him in private versus what I tell him on the live stream. But the most expensive part for like Phoebe's Proton Pack has been the brown whip piece, and hardly any UK sellers had them in the quantity. I managed to like find 3 for my own collection. In the end, I ended up getting them from a store in Ukraine because it worked out cheaper than getting them from Lego. Bricks and pieces, or pick a brick, what you want to call it.
Well, good timing on that.
Yeah. I mean, they've been shipped. They've left the country, so
okay,
you know.
Okay, good.
If Russia invades, they're not going to hold my Lego. That'd be a great idea for a film. Like, an Apple orders pieces he needs for a mock from Ukraine. Russia invades Ukraine, so the Apple decides to take matters into his own hands. Crosses Europe to go and free the bricks.
If you have a problem and you can find them, maybe you can hire the A-Team.
The K-Team. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, I used to love that show.
do you know what? I'd pay to see that.
I would.
That sounds like a great movie.
I mean, you should always pay to see your movies.
Obviously,
That
yeah.
is true. That is true. I get frustrated with some of my friends, even though I don't work in film and TV industry anymore. I do get frustrated with my friends, like who, like share links and go, "Oh, you can watch all movies on these ones." And I get that it's expensive and stuff like that, but you know, when they come on home media, they're so cheap anyway. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of it. I remember. Do you know? Funny enough, the 18 movie was a colossal flop, but I actually quite enjoyed it. I thought it was a decent updating of the original series.
And
I like that film.
I'm not going to be a snob here. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. My one problem is that because obviously Bradley Cooper was really rising up, the last act becomes less the 18 movie and more the Face Man movie. Like I can't believe they'd had Murdoch just sit the whole final piece out. That was crazy. But I enjoyed it, and I was looking forward to seeing more. I thought it was well cast, and it flopped because no one went and seen it. But I remember that year they come up with like the I don't know, statistics, whatever. It was the most torrented film of the year, and everyone I've talked to said like, yeah, it was a decent film. How come they didn't make a second one? Because you torrented the movie. That's why they didn't make a second one. They made no money on it,
Yeah,
Instead, we get Mamma Mia 2.
Which was not torrented.
Yeah.
I've actively gone onto the dark web to delete files to keep people from torrenting it.
Really? If anyone I knew was going to do that, it would be you, Space Time. I love you for it. Just in reply to Jacob's one, no, I'm actually very I'm not happy with the amount of clips that Warner Brothers are releasing from the Batman movie. I feel like they should have more confidence in the film because I've seen enough now. I never like it when studios do like release entire clips. A trailer should be enough. Like when they start releasing clips on there, I think it wrenches of like fear that the film's not going to do well. And
I've done a really good job of avoiding these clips, I guess.
I've avoided most of them, but then one popped up on my home feed recommended to me, and the title and the thumbnail spoiled what the scene was about. And it was something that I feel like wouldn't be like a big, massive shock, but would have been like, an interesting surprise in the film. And now I'm going to be waiting for it to happen the whole movie.
Batman is secretly Bruce Wayne.
It was a very, very small clip, but there's no need for it. Yeah, I don't like when they do it. Especially when they do it before the film was released. Like, I know once the film was released, they'll show more and more to try and get the people who are on the fence through the door. Like, one example, I remember Attack of the Clones. By the time it had been out for like 3 or 4 weeks, the whole movie was on the internet in some form of trailer or clip or featurette, But it is what it is, I guess. I'm looking forward to the Batman. I'm not looking forward to sitting through 3 hours in the cinema, though.
Was it really a 3-hour film?
It is, yeah.
I did not know that.
Before that wouldn't have bothered me in like a pre-COVID world, but now I kind of like I go in there and like I find once it hits the 2-hour mark, once you add on like 20 minutes of trailers and adverts, I want to get out of there. Plus, like tolerance for other people is greatly diminished with each past year of my life.
I totally get that. I mean, I'm really hating people.
It's true though, isn't it? Like you understand now
Yeah.
why people like when you were a kid were grumpy and didn't like anyone.
I finally understand why Dad was always pissed on family vacations.
Lady Sam says she hates you can't adjust the volume in the cinema. I mean, I would love to adjust the volume of other people around me. Because I don't mind like the cinema experience when you go to a comedy and other people are laughing. That's fine, that's part of the experience. But like when people like are calling out the characters as they appear in the film, like I remember out of the 3 or 4 times I saw Ghostbusters Afterlife, we went to a late screening. This was like 10:30 at night, and there was some kids there. And like every time a character come on screen, it was like, "Oh, where's Slimer? Where's Slimer?" It's just
He's dead.
I mean, you're not wrong. And then when the mini puff's on there, they're like, "It's Little Stay Puff." Like, shut your friggin' mouth before I end you.
See, I was doing that internally.
Yeah, intentionally's fine. Do you know when people laughed at the gags, that was cool. But when someone's like narrating the film, I remember I went and saw a girl with a dragon tattoo. Have you all seen that film, the Daniel Craig one?
Yeah.
Have not.
Okay, well, there's a. Do you mind a spoiler at all? Space Time? It's been out.
Yeah, I'm probably never gonna watch it, but yeah.
Okay, so at one point he stood like, I guess it's not so much a woodland, but it's like an open sort of like fieldy type area with some trees in there, and he's looking off camera, and then all of a sudden, then a gunshot goes off, and like the tree next to him is hit, with a gunshot. He actually clips his ear, so you get his ear bleeds and everything. But I was watching the scene, I was watching the film, and I was aware that there was this guy that was sat like the row just one behind me and to my right was there with a book, and he had like a pen light. I don't know what he was doing, whether he was checking bits in the book against the film or something, but that was distracting enough. But he seemed to put it away, for long periods of time. But right as that scene was there, and it was all this tension, and you were kind of thinking, what's happening? Where's this going? And right before the gunshot, he went bang, really loud. We all turned to look at him, and then it happened on the screen. And it was like, why did you do that? It just ruined it. I just wanted to get up and just like punch his face into mush.
I don't think anybody would have blamed you, to be honest, Kyle.
And he really needed the book to tell him when to go bang.
Yeah, apparently. I don't know why he had it. It looked, I couldn't tell you, but the book, I would say, was quite a thick paperback. It could very well, I reckon it was a copy of, the girl with the dragon tattoo book, but I don't know what he was doing. It was so bizarre.
Such a super fan.
Indeed. Neely, good evening. Welcome back to the show. No Joe this evening. Joe can't make it.
Oh, is he firing from both ends again?
I hope not. But I also don't know. So he might be unwell. Yeah.
Wait, so you can't say the whole Wang is here?
I can't. It's not even half a Wang.
No, we're a good couple of inches shorter.
Yeah. But we are surviving the weather. A couple thousand people maybe aren't because they still haven't got electricity, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, that's why we haven't got many viewers, because our fan base is currently without power.
Yeah, it's all in Newcastle where they've got no power.
That's what happened.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's how it works, you see.
What were we talking about?
You were talking about people with pen lights reading the.
Yeah, I guess the term is cinema etiquette, and I just feel like it's a lost manner now. Whatever the term is, it doesn't seem to exist anymore. And I feel this sense of dread when I go to the cinema that are other people going to ruin the experience for me?
That's why I was like hoping COVID was just going to wipe out cinemas so I could just watch everything at home.
Yeah, but I love the actual cinema experience.
I know, but people have ruined it.
That's the problem. I know. I remember my mum said years ago that they should never have got rid of ushers, but of course, that's impossible, really, to sort of keep up with the whole multiplex, framework, I guess. But when it was like theatre house cinemas, I remember going to the cinema and there would be ushers, who would be there with torches and stuff, and if anyone started like acting out, they would tell them to shut the hell up or kick them out. Whereas now it's kind of almost like self-serve cinema nowadays.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It just, yeah, it's that.
And I hate that you can pick your own seats now. So like getting there early doesn't matter. So people can just show up like 30 minutes late to a film and be like, "Oh, you're in my seat," trying to miss all the previews.
I kind of actually prefer that. Only, I do and I don't, because we used to always try and go early and make sure we got the best seats.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have to pick your seats, and it varies from cinema to cinema. But I actually prefer that. I remember once we had booked like these particular seats because we knew that we would have to make a mad rush from picking the missus up from work to the cinema. We were going to miss like the office on there. And we got there in pretty good time. But there was a father and son who was sat in our seats, and the film was like a 15. The kid was like 8 years old. He shouldn't have been in there. And I said, "Oh, excuse me, in your seats." And he was like, "All these other seats are empty, and you want to sit here?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, we booked these seats,
And it also, someone else should be coming in for those seats,
Yeah, because I have done that before, where I've gone there and someone sat in my seats, and I've gone, "Oh, well, it's not a big deal. I'm not going to make a fuss. I'll sit in this seat, get comfy," and then someone comes and goes, "Oh, you're in my seat." So then you have to move again, and it's like, this is all like cause and fuss that shouldn't be if I just told the original person to move their ass,
Yeah.
But anyway, with this father and son, I said like, yeah, you need to move because the seats were nice. They had lots of leg room, a good view of the screen, and they sat immediately behind us. And the kid just caused so much crap. And I eventually did go out and tell on the staff because I was like, this film's a 15. What is this 8-year-old kid doing in there? And they got escorted out, but then they snuck back in again, and then they got escorted out a second time. But when they left, they dropped their ticket, and their ticket was to see someone like Thomas the Tank Engine.
Oh my goodness.
So it was like, what are you doing? Do you know what I mean? I forget what film it was, but I remember it was a 15, and I remember that it had a sex scene in there, because I was thinking, this is no way suitable for that 8-year-old. I say that being a kid who watched, like, Scarface and Die Hard from the age of 5, but, if there was a sex scene on there, I had to close my eyes whilst my dad fast-forwarded it, so...
Right, yeah. Sure.
It's just one of those instances where it's like, the wife won't let the dad out of the house unless he takes the son because he knows he's going to go to the bar or something.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, it's
Thomas the Tank Engine.
It's that conflicting sort of excitement but dread that I get when I go to the cinema now. It's like, I'm looking forward to seeing on the big screen with the surround sound, smell of popcorn, and just going out to the cinema. Versus, oh my god, other people are going to ruin this for me. Are we going to have someone like is it going to be overcrowded? Are we going to have someone like kicking the chair? They're going to be talking. Is someone going to get their phone out? Like, mobile phones are one of the worst things I hate in cinema because your eye is just drawn to the light. Even if they got like the backlight on dark mode.
Yeah.
But I got to check my Tinder.
Well, do you know, I had an argument with someone on a cinema group before who said that he got pissed off because every time he went to the cinema, people told him to put his phone away, and he likes to go on imdb.com and look up to see where he's seen the actor from. It's like, do that when you get home. Don't do it in the cinema. If you want to do it whilst you're watching the film, wait till it's on home media and do it,
Yeah.
But I want to know now.
I mean, how hard is it to sit there for another hour and a half and go, must remember that guy?
Or you could even look at his name in the end credits, and then,
exactly.
Rather than having to go through like who's in this cast and which one is this. Like,
I have to remember the name of the character he played.
Life is hard.
Oh, so far we haven't talked about Lego at all.
No.
Lego.
I can't think of anything Lego to talk about right now. There was something else I wanted to talk about, but it's not Lego related remotely.
But what are we working on? What are people working on? Obviously, Spacetime's working on said Gozer temple.
Oh yeah.
Gozer. Yeah.
What are you working on, Craggle?
I mean,
You're
this
the real
morning-
Lego YouTuber here.
You're taking the mic, right? I haven't uploaded a video in almost 3 weeks.
Well,
I had a great start.
that I did this year.
I had a great start to the year where I uploaded I uploaded every single week in January with my Ghostbusters Afterlife run, and I was really proud of myself. And I told myself, I might take a week off, and that week has turned into 3 weeks. But in my defense, I have been very poorly. Long COVID is to kind of knock me for 6 again, and also I'm having trouble with like the sort of consistency of shifts in my day job as well. That's kind of my excuse. But I have been working on something. I am working on, and I think it's okay to say, I think we've already revealed this, a Back to the Future custom minifigure series. I was hoping
not okay to say.
It's not okay to say.
I'm highly insulted.
Oh, I'm sorry, Space Time. I was hoping to have it done for last week. I thought for sure I'd have it done for this week, but this week has just got away from me. But I was working on it this morning before I got dragged out to do grocery shopping with the missus. And like the CMF itself is all done. I just need to sort of like write the script and edit the video, record the voiceover, that sort of thing. I finished up doing stuff like the checklist and group shots today whilst I was talking to Sam. Because, Sam, you're working on something rather special, right?
I am, but I've put it to one side for now because I got that annoyed earlier.
Oh. What are you working on now, then? Or can you not tell us?
No, I can, because it's already been mentioned in one of your streams.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm working on Stargate Command.
You look so sheepish there.
Yeah, because it's.
How many floors are you doing?
I want to do all of them, but obviously you got to start somewhere. So I'm starting in the gate room because I've got a Stargate already.
Yeah. I was talking about the Stargate today, actually. We were clearing out. I said clearing out. We were sort of tidying up the front room. And by we, I mean Mrs. Craggle and I came in and like helped move a box a couple of inches and say well done because I was busy doing stuff on Photoshop. But yeah, we still have the Stargate on display with the figures. Just yeah, it's one of those things I don't think it's going to get taken down anytime soon. You know.
No, I've still got mine up. I love it.
Yeah.
You need to go all the way until the entrance to that tunnel in the mountain.
I hate you.
Cheyenne Mountain.
I hate you both.
I've driven through that mountain.
Have you really?
Mm-hmm. I think I did. Cheyenne, if it's the one I'm thinking of, it's off of Route 70 through Colorado.
Yeah, I basically my plan is to, because Andy, you said you wanted to see something, so I'm like, well, that's a great idea. And I'm going to probably adopt a simple strategy like you, Mr. Craggle, of it doesn't have to be built. It probably will be built in some way, shape, or form at some point.
Oh God!
But not right now.
I blame you for this entirely. So when can I talk about what you have been working on? What has annoyed you?
Yes, you can, because we've mentioned that.
Yeah.
A few times.
So Sam has been working on the instructions for my Ghostbusters Afterlife inspired dirt farm build. And at some point in the build, I did two things that have caused him issues. One, I stopped selecting bricks that were only available, like only in the colors they were available. I turned off hide unavailable colors. So I just used bricks in any color that I saw fit rather than what they're actually available in. And the second one is, and this is Sam's fault, he told me collision mode was stinky, so I turned it off.
Oh, that's not been an issue. That
Oh,
has,
yes. The capacitor it was.
yeah, but that wasn't that much of an issue. That took me 20 minutes to fix.
Yeah, but it was 20 minutes of you like cursing my name and wishing I'd never been born.
Yeah, but that was on top of the fact that of a yeah. I mean, it was how you would piece things together. I'd gone. It's like he's just thrown away everything he's learned in this main building and gone. Nah, don't need to worry about that here.
On what now? On the capacitor?
Yeah.
Well, that's because the
It was
capacitor
part-
was. That's because the capacitor was a late addition when someone was like, "Yeah, you need to have the capacitors." I can't remember who it was who told me. And
I
was
think it
like,
was probably
"Okay."
me.
Probably, and I designed them quickly in Mechabricks as opposed to Studio. I think the reason why I did it in Mechabricks is because I didn't want to have to go through the fiasco we had where we take something from Studio, put it into Mecha, and then put it from Mecha to Blender. So I was like, right, I'm just going to build it in Mecha.
That's fair. That's fair.
And that's why I
because-
couldn't. That's why I couldn't do the same rules that that I had learned in the studio.
But at the same time, I've now rebuilt it, made it a tiny little bit taller, and there is not a single collision on there now.
No, and I would say that at first glance you wouldn't even notice the difference. Like
No, logically, it should all still fit together. It all still marries up exactly as you expected and as you built originally.
I think you changed 2 pieces.
I'd been 2 pieces, didn't I? I'd been 2 pieces, and
And
I
you
added
added 2 new ones. Yeah, that's
2
it.
new ones. That was
You
it.
basically just connected the pieces I used in a better, more efficient way that didn't, overwrite the laws of physics in which
Yeah.
2
That was
objects
the key
cannot occupy the same space at the same time.
Actually, I want to see a manual that says these 2 bricks have to occupy half of each other's space. So please spend time and please spend space time to
Yeah.
put that together. Actually, while we're spending space time, there's actually no reason for us to actually make curved elements.
That's true. I tell you what, one thing I don't get, and I haven't looked into this a lot, and so maybe one of you guys can tell me a bit more about it if you do know, is I've seen, is it on Studio now, there's a feature where you can split a brick into pieces, which I don't understand because
build like into lesser pieces.
does it only do it like in terms of what is actually capable of? It doesn't just let you split a brick in half for the sake of it. So like if you had like a 1x3, it would give you the option to make that out of 3 1x1s or 1x2 and a 1x1. It wouldn't just let you split through half the stud, right?
Here you go. This is what it does. Come on. P. So if you right click on it and go split, it will split it into 6 or 8 1x1 bricks in this instant.
So yeah, it only does it in terms of what is actually physically capable of. It doesn't just.
It doesn't give you an option, so I could have easily split that into 2 by 2s.
Yeah,
It just goes for the lowest common denominator.
I've got you. Okay, that makes sense.
That being
I still sort of question exactly how useful that would be in that without giving the option, but
I think a better option, like Sam said, instead of you should be able to give a. Now, this is me creating my own terminology because the studio team has been really efficient with communicating. Is what I call the clutch profile, which is basically the area of the studs that are connecting. So, like that brick you just had would have a clutch profile of 2x4.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it would be awesome. It's saying if you want to reduce that number of bricks to a clutch profile 1x1, 1x2s, 2x2s, 2x3s, give it that option.
yeah. I mean,
So-
I was even thinking of like what would be the cheapest way because like if like you had you want to do 2 1x4s because that was cheaper than getting that brick in that color in a 2x4.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that would be useful, but just always going down to the lowest possible combination seems a bit sort of useless.
Would just be thankful it doesn't break it into plates for you.
Oh shit! Yeah. And
Free
yeah,
plate,
Jacob, we
free
actually
plate,
talking
brick.
about Lego. No, that's true actually.
Yeah, just be thankful it's eight 1x1s or a combination of 1x1 bricks, not
Yeah,
1x1 plates.
what would it be? Is it each brick is 3 plates high? Is it?
Correct.
Yeah. So, oh my word.
Lego/Bricklink. If you're watching, I'm looking for a job or consulting work because I can make your program awesome.
Give Space Time a shout.
I can do the maths.
Yo, you said it. You said it. Brilliant. If
Yeah,
you want,
because it's like I even have an algorithm. Granted, it's in my head, but of how to essentially do the curved elements, of how to bend them, or the flexible elements, I should say.
Oh, the flexible elements. Yeah, that
Yeah.
annoys me no end. Where you can because I tried to use the hose piece on my Afterlife Ecto 1, and it just was so much a pain because you could only manipulate the 2 ends, and I just, I don't know, I hated it.
So it looks like I'm going to end up buying all the figures from the firehouse. And would it be cheaper to just buy the firehouse at this point?
I mean, the fan in me wants to tell you to buy the firehouse because I love the firehouse, one of my favorite sets. I love Ghostbusters, but then you have just got rid of a load of your Lego. This could be like a relapse thing,
So I did want to tell you guys, I went to the Lego store yesterday. And
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just to walk around.
Okay.
Oh.
And I was like, this stuff's really cool, but I don't want to buy anything. So, it was just a tolerance test,
Well done.
I probably would have failed that, in all fairness.
Yeah, so would I.
Well, I say that. I often go on the Lego aisle and go, this is crap, because these things are all overpriced and I can get them cheaper elsewhere. So,
and this is also including that all of the March 1st stuff was there too.
Oh, okay. Then that would have tempted me.
Yeah. So like Luke's helmet,
Oh, I'm guessing Jacob doesn't know, by the way.
Is he not here for that stream?
Yeah, we talked about it last week.
Yeah.
And you commented up that I got rid of all my figures. Yeah, I sold my whole collection.
Yeah, Space Time sold his collection.
And I said I was taking a break, and that's why I think I'm going to be focusing on designing mocks and getting Brick to build those mocks so that they're more personal to me. This is not putting down anyone's hobby because everyone can celebrate the hobby in their own way. But I was falling into the trap of collecting figures for the sake of having figures, and then it's like, why am I collecting a commercially widely available thing that's never going to end? And really, it was just the quality of like Marvel shows and the Star Wars shows recently of like, why am I even doing this? This stuff pisses me off, and I'm just doing it because I like the MCU up to Endgame, and it just really hasn't really recovered from that yet because it's like a lot of missteps are happening.
Well, you know what? That is kind of a good segue into what I wanted to talk about, actually, and I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on this. Do you know what? Obviously, you've seen Spider-Man No Way Home now. I think we're okay to talk about that, right? You've seen WandaVision as well?
Yeah. I've seen all the shows except for Hawkeye and Winter Soldier and the Falcon.
Okay, so here's something that I was thinking about earlier on today is, do you remember, I don't know if you watched WandaVision whilst it was like airing, but when WandaVision was airing weekly and they had the reveal of, is it Evan Peters playing, playing Quicksilver in WandaVision, and everyone was like, this is the start now of the MCU multiverse. And obviously it turned out not to be. It turned out that he actually wasn't playing Quicksilver. He was playing some random Westview citizen that Agatha had just manipulated to act like Pedro.
It was a fourth wall joke.
Yeah, but this is the thing that annoyed me, right? Is that there is no way that they didn't anticipate that, because I remember one of the showrunners, I think, or one of the producers said that we never once thought that people would assume he was playing the same Quicksilver from the X-Men films. And it's like,
and that was just a stupid thing to say.
Yeah, because it's like you cast the actor who played a version of the character in a different continuity and franchise. You've put him in a show which is dealing with reality. At that point, they already had announced that Wanda was going to appear in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. They announced the title of it. So we knew that something in the multiverse was coming. It just seemed stupid and insulting, and just a barefaced lie that they, didn't. They said, "Oh, we didn't think anyone would come to the conclusion that he was playing, playing Quicksilver from across the multiverse." What's even more stupid is that we had that fake out. We had kind of the fake out with Mysterio in Far From Home, where he said he was from the multiverse and he wasn't, and now we actually have the proper Marvel multiverse. We had the kind of what if thing, but broader than that, with No Way Home, it's done a similar thing to what DC have done already with Crisis on Infinite Earths, and kind of said that all the Marvel films, at least in terms of Spider-Man Marvel films, are part of the MCU multiverse. The Amazing Spider-Man and the Raimi-verse. Now, have you seen the latest trailer for Doctor Strange 2: Multiverse of Madness?
Yes.
So in that one, we hear Patrick Stewart's voice as Professor X, and obviously a lot of people are saying, Professor X is going to be in this film, which is a reasonable conclusion. So that, if that is true, that is now making the X-Men movies part of the extended MC multiverse.
I don't. Yeah, probably.
So
I have a feeling they're not going to do that. I think they're just going to say this is another dimension. I don't know.
Well, even if they do, they don't. The problem we have here is that the marketing for this is obviously playing on the fact that we know whose voice that is, and we know what Marvel character he plays. So how can they say that they cast Evan Peters as Quicksilver and didn't think anyone would believe that he was, actually Quicksilver from the X-Men films? Their whole sort of hook on this trailer is for us to hear Patrick Stewart's voice and go, "Oh, Professor X is in this film."
Do you know if which producer it was? Because a lot of producers are just stupid too.
I can't remember. I'll probably have to have a look for it in a second. But it also raises the question of, if they are going to do some of the things in No Way Home, where they're going to say, the X-Men are in, the X-Men movies are in the multiverse, does that mean that there's going to be, will they bring Evan Peters back as the X-Men Quicksilver? Will that get addressed then? That, there's a human that looks the spit of him? Because, in all fairness, in Crisis on Infinite Earths, the Arrowverse version of that, they did acknowledge that Brandon Routh played both Superman and the Atom. There was the fact that the Superman Kingdom Come Superman looked the same as the Atom, and they shared scenes together, was addressed, and they had people mistake one for the other, and they was like, "Oh, this is interesting, constants and variables across the multiverse,"
Yeah, and they pinned him down to, I think, Earth 92?
Something like that, yeah. But I like that. I
thought it was really good.
I was disappointed that we didn't get, Crisis on Infinite Earths as a big, massive endgame sort of scale film. And the fact that, on the big screen at least, Marvel have beat DC to it, when the multiverse used to always be more a DC thing anyway. But I'm just sort of I feel like Marvel is just kind of I don't know if disrespecting is the right word, but I'm just frustrated at how they play with fans. You thought that he was playing Quicksilver all along, or you're stupid just because we cast the same actor. And then, we put Professor X in this film. You know what that means, don't you? Yeah. So, it's also frustrating that all these films went into production after the Flash movie, which we know is, adapting the Flashpoint comic and so revealing that previous DC movies were in the same continuity, and yet they're coming out first because Warner Brothers, the people who own DC, like to sort of mess about and drag their heels and micromanage stuff and mess things up, you know?
Yes, yeah. I have a message
Oh.
from the great state of Utah.
Oh no! Oh no!
Joe says hello.
Hello.
He says, I've been dragged to the planetarium with the family. Tell everybody I said hi.
Hi, Joe.
Except Craggle.
Oh.
And then he says, I'm so happy to have a foreign antagonistic in my life. I finally feel complete.
How dare he? I was the first one to say hello back to him as well. And I was the most excited that he had made contact. I feel betrayed. I let my guard down, and this is what happens. This is why I hate people. What a bunch of bastards.
I really hope he watches this back. He's gone. Do you know what? Space time, we'll just carry on with us, yeah?
People, what a bunch of bastards.
Hey, you've got your impression nailed down, mate. Well done.
Is it though? I thought it was pretty bad. I was
You need to lay on the Welsh a bit more.
Is he Welsh? Oh, I was doing Chris O'Dowd.
I was going to say, if you want me to get you some sheep, mate, send them over. That will help you set the mood right down. And I know he's flipping out right now.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was doing my accent or doing Chris O'Dowd's accent.
Yeah, it was really bad. I was trying to do Chris O'Dowd.
Either way, it was awful, but awesome at the same time.
I mean, I'll admit when I do a bad accent.
Oh yeah, Jacob says, don't forget the Earth 90 Flash and Jay Garrick. Yeah, because they were played by the same actor as well. Yeah, that's one thing I've really enjoyed. I'm not up to speed with the Arrowverse, and I never really got into the shows, but I watched a lot of the stuff from Crisis on Infinite Earth because I was excited to see how they acknowledged stuff. They even acknowledged Birds of Prey, you know, that ill-fated TV show. Yeah, they not acknowledged that as well. Which I thought was interesting. I just like the idea that, you know, every DC thing exists in the multiverse because it was an idea I remember I said to Laura Vandervoot, who played Supergirl in Smallville, and then she went on to play Brainiac, I think it was, in the Supergirl TV series.
Do you think she took your idea?
Well, when I told her, it was about, I don't know, 8-9 months before Crisis on Infinite Earths was announced. And she told me, she said, "Oh, you should hold on to that idea, and not let anyone else know." But I don't think I was the only person who had that idea. I remember I watched a podcast later on with, I think is it Fat Man on the Batman?
Yeah,
and, I forget his name. The guy who does it with Kevin Smith. He said like they should do a DC Crisis movie and have the multiverse. And they were like they could even like have Christopher Reeve fighting alongside Adam West and stuff. You know, with the technology we have. I guess that kind of links back to like what you were saying last week about is it ethical to do stuff like that? But just from a creative point of view, I was like that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Of course, like everything now, Marvel has kind of beaten DC to the big screen with it, But there we go. Honestly, though, I am looking forward to Doctor Strange too. I think it's probably the only Marvel film I'm looking forward to right now.
Since Patrick Stewart's there, I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, maybe it's the Illuminati," which I think could be exciting, and I would like to see. I can't say his name. Welshman, I think he's Welsh. Reed Richards.
Oh, is it Ewan Griffith?
Yeah. I have a horrible time trying to say his name. I would like to see him because, I mean, as much as people dislike those movies, I really felt like he felt like a Mr. Fantastic for me. I just felt like they had a bad story and bad director.
Yeah, I remember that when he was cast, I was surprised that he was cast as Mr. Fantastic. I felt he was too young for the part. Obviously, they made him look older with like the flashes of grey on the sides, but
now I think he would do a good job.
Now he's probably about the right age, I would say.
Yeah. So I hope he's in that movie. And
I've heard a rumor. I don't know how true it is. It's just rumor at the end of the day. that Chris Evans is contracted for more Marvel movies.
I've heard this, yeah.
And part of me is kind of sat there going, "Oh, go on, bring him in as Human Torch."
The Fantastic Four movies, though, were not well loved. Like, you know, the Raimi Spider-Man movies were well loved. Even like the Amazing Spider-Man had its fans, and even those who weren't big fans of the movie appreciated Andrew Garfield at least as Spidey, not so much Peter Parker. I just don't. And with the X-Men films, you know, as much as like you know the last run of them were pretty terrible, they were great once upon a time. I don't know.
One and two are really good. Three's fun to laugh at.
Three has its moments.
Yeah.
Days of Future Past is probably one of my favorite X-Men movies.
Was that? Yeah, that is the best one.
Yeah. Do you know what's interesting though? I mean, this is kind of going off into a bit of a dark topic here, but Ewan Griffith apparently is one of the actors who had his Hollywood career destroyed by Harvey Weinstein, or Weinstein, whatever you say his name, wanker.
Really?
For doing what?
Because his fiance at the time, I forget the actress's name, she's the one that was in 102 Dalmatians. She saw Harvey at a hotel bar in Los Angeles when she was there, and she approached him just as like, you know, said, "Oh, hey, I'm so-and-so an actress. My fiance actually did an audition, a screen test for a film for you last week." And Harvey went, "Oh, yes, he was fantastic." And she was like, "Oh, cool." And then the conversation got about, and he said, "Oh, why don't you come upstairs and I would like to touch your breasts." And she was like, "What? No." And he said, "Okay, that's fine. Good luck to your fiance." And he didn't get the part, and he didn't also got told that he was basically they were no longer interested in him in a lot of other parts as well.
So this could be his comeback now, since that monster's.
I mean, he's done some stuff on TV in the UK. He did a drama, I think, in 2020 that was quite critically acclaimed. I forget what it was called.
But I mean, good on her, though.
Yeah.
For not indulging a monster.
Such a vile human being. But yeah, so, I mean, we always liked Ewan Griffin. He was kind of basically, I guess, trying to be. Well, no, he wasn't trying to be. He was in a series called Hornblower in the UK, which was kind of basically trying to be Sharp 2. Do you remember that at all?
Yeah. My favorite work of his was in a small film called Amazing Grace.
Oh, okay, I've not seen that.
It's about I forget the lawmaker, but it's about the British lawmaker in the 1840s, like passionately trying to end slavery.
Oh, okay.
And Toby Jones is in it. He plays, I think, another member of Parliament who actually owns slaves and like tries to give one to. Can you say his name one more time? Because I want to learn how to say it.
Ewan Griffith.
Ewan.
Yeah, Griffith.
Ewan Griffith. Yeah. So he owed him some money. He was like trying to give him a slave, and he's like,
"Yeah,
fuck this."
He's a good actor. I always keep on doing like an exaggerated impression of him from Titanic.
Yeah.
Is anybody out there? We waited too long. I don't know. I always love that when he's like, "Is anybody out there?" Like the most exaggerated Welsh accent ever. You can just imagine James Cameron's like, "Yeah, can you be more Welsh?"
Can you be more Welsh? Didn't even know that was a thing.
Who was it? Andy Hopkins said before in a film, he said the director was like, "Yeah, I'm not really feeling your Welsh accent." He's like, "It doesn't sound like, you know, you don't sound Welsh." He's like, "But I am Welsh." What? What was that?
Oh, nothing. I was just saying if anybody was out there.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I would prefer to see Ewan Griffith come back as Mr. Fantastic than Chris Evans as a Human Torch. I just think that would take away from his ending. Like, I don't want him to come back now.
Well, it doesn't take away from his ending because
no
one ever dies. No one ever ends. They'll just reimagine as CGI monsters and entertain us for the end of time. That's how it is.
This goes back to like you were saying, Craggle, about having, you know, Brandon Roth playing Superman in one film, but the atom in another, being on the
Yeah,
same
I
thing.
get that, but I just feel like if you're gonna see his face again in the MCU and be like, "Oh, it's Cap," no, it's the Human Torch. I just feel like, oh, that's gonna be a disappointment, isn't it?
Yeah, because
Something wrong with the Human Torch?
just his original portrayal was just total
Yeah, it wasn't good, Chris Evans. It was.
dirtbag, douchebag guy.
Yeah, if you're gonna do that, you might as well friggin' bring in Ginger Chris Evans from Radio 1, you know?
No, mate. No.
And say, this is
Not
Captain
the
America
same.
from another multiverse, you know?
Not the same.
I just sent you a link to that trailer in the private chat.
Oh, okay. I'll watch that.
The trailer definitely gives you feels.
I'll tell you what trailers, though, I've really enjoyed this week was the trailer for the new Elvis biopic.
Oh yeah, who's playing Elvis?
I forget his name, but it's directed by the guy who I forgot his name now. The guy who directed Moulin Rouge and Romeo and Juliet in the 90s. I forgot his name. But anyway, the trailer just looked very good. It's got Tom Hanks playing the Colonel.
Oh, that's right. I did remember hearing about that.
The only thing that gets me is that they use Elvis songs throughout it, but there's one part where in the trailer he goes on, and obviously it's not going to be in the final film, but on the stage where he goes on and people take a mick out of him, and then he starts singing and dancing. And rather than like hearing the song that he's singing or hit up on an Elvis track, they put the opening guitar and drum riff from Junkie XL's cover of Come Together, which doesn't make any sense because, like, you know, it's not 50s. It's not that kind of music, but also it's a cover of a Beatles song, and Elvis Presley didn't like the Beatles, mainly because they kind of like usurped him in the 60s, you know, is kind of like the big thing.
Oops.
But like after that, it goes back to Elvis songs, and it does a cover, does a version of Unchained Melody, which he did sing 2 months before he died, and that gave me goosebumps. But it just that one part in like the end of the sort of like the first act of the trailer, if you will, I was just like, what on earth is this? It reminded me of when they used a rap song over, like a modern rap song over that film about Martin Luther King. And I was just like, what on earth are they doing? It made no sense.
They knew who they were marketing it to.
Baz Luhrmann, that's it, yeah.
Yeah, we had that from both Neely and Lady Sam. And Lady Sam wants you all to know.
And I also said it. But everyone ignored me.
What, you said Baz Luhrmann?
Yes, I did. And you guys just kept talking right on over me. And I'm like, all right. You don't care.
You know what the problem was? You didn't put your hand up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jacob says, I kept on thinking of Justice League. The worst thing about that is that I like that cover. It's completely different to the original, but I like Junkie XL's cover of Come Together. But people associate it with the Justice League, even though it was done by Junkie XL, who scored the Snyder version of Justice League. So it's because it was using all the marketing for the theatrical version of Justice League, but it was written for Snyder's version of the movie, you know? Oh, it was not written. It was, you know, put together. But yeah, it's so jarring, and the rest of the trailer looks fantastic. I'm pretty excited for it. My dad's a massive Elvis fan, so I'm sure he's going to look forward to it as well. And I've apparently killed the conversation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's like, I mean, you ain't nothing but a hound dog. Crying all the time.
Well, he just doesn't want to hang around tonight. I haven't got any response for him. If he doesn't want to hang around, he can go pleasure himself.
Whoa, that's at least the politest way to say that.
I don't know why. I just had flashbacks to The Martian. You know the film The Martian?
Yeah.
They're like, what problem? And he says, he keeps telling the botanist to go have sex with themselves.
You know what? My brain just did something silly. When you said The Martian, I was thinking of that Christopher Lloyd movie from the 90s
Oh,
what's that called? My Favorite Martian or something.
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I remember that. Wait a minute. There was a botany.
I love that last week I called you a film snob. Yeah, I mentioned The Martian, and the first place your mind goes to is a little-known 90s movie with Christopher Lloyd playing an alien with antennas coming out the top of his head.
Yeah.
That's quite funny.
I watched a lot of Disney trash in the 90s.
Oh, I think everyone did, in all fairness. I mean, there was a lot of good stuff. And it's funny, like, in the 90s, it was almost the death of their live-action movies, I feel like. When they had the renaissance for the animated movies, the live-action stuff they kept turning out.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed Flubber, but I think the original Homeward Bound.
Oh, man. The music in that movie really... Yeah, it really gets to me because it's like I had a dog like that, and then the kid's name in that movie was Peter as well. So I was like, oh man. But yeah, the music at the end when they're like when they think Shadow's dead, and then Shadow appears and starts running across the yard. I'm like, oh my.
Yeah. But of course they had to do a sequel.
Yeah, and I remember watching that in theaters and like, this isn't fun.
If you were a kid and you were watching it and it wasn't fun, then you know something's up. I mean, I think we talked about this before, but I have a massive amount of nostalgia for Batman Forever, and even as an adult, I still feel like there's a bit of a rough gem in there. You know, it's underrated in parts. But I remember as a kid watching Batman and Robin and going, you know.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna watch the animated series and Batman Returns or something.
Yeah. Because I remember Batman Forever. I think I said this before. I had Batman '89 on VHS, and I had Batman Forever. I didn't have Batman Returns for a long time on
the
VHS.
most recognizable VHS cover art of all time is Batman '89. Oh, what's in that box?
But I remember I watched those two, Batman '89 and Batman Forever, over and over again. I had Batman and Robin when that came out, and I think I may have watched it like once. No, I watched it once. I may have watched it twice when I had it. Like, even then, as a kid, I was like, this is rubbish. I feel like I mainly watched it the second time because, I love Arnold Schwarzenegger. But
you were just being polite.
I'm being polite, yeah. It's funny though, because someone pointed out the scene where at the end of Batman and Robin, where Batman's telling Mr. Freeze, the true power comes from giving life, not taking it, is actually on paper a well-written speech, but because of everything that comes before it, and because of Arnold Schwarzenegger's facial expression, where he's like doing like the whole Total Recall face. Oh.
Hold up. We have someone live from a planetarium in Utah.
Oh my word.
It's Joe.
Testing. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, you wanker.
I can't hear anyone. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, you turd of a human being.
I didn't know that.
Insult me to my face. You gotta get someone else to insult me. Yeah, that's it. You run away.
I didn't know they had places of learning in Utah.
I didn't know they had places of learning in America.
True. I just wanted to go for the joke of.
I like that. We were there, and then Kyle just goes, no, boom.
Do they actually scare him away?
Run away!
No, I think he couldn't hear us. So
Was that a
was
Monty
a bit of
Python reference? Then I heard from Space Time.
What's that?
Was that a Monty Python reference? I heard from you?
Of course.
Excellent.
No, it was like that time Scott did a live show from Brick Fair, Virginia, and he couldn't hear us, and we just had to listen to him talk and walk around. And then embarrass me in front of Beyond the Brick.
I remember that.
Because I jokingly told Scott I wanted to be a Phil correspondent for Beyond the Brick. And then he goes up to them on the live stream. He's like, I forget what he said, but he mentioned my full name. And Joshua Hanlon was like, Okay.
Right, let's try this again. Come on, Joe. You there? We hear you. We can hear you. Speak. Say words.
I can't hear you. Hold on.
Put your
It's,
headphones.
it's like watching an ape trying to make fire.
You know what? It's great because we can literally say anything right now and he won't know. Unless he watches this back, he won't know.
Just keep nodding.
I was going to say, I'm the only one he can really see, so I'm going to be the one going,
Yeah, I realised that when I put my middle finger up and then saw that you couldn't see me.
Oh, that's what went wrong.
So we've covered... What have we covered? We've covered stuff. I forgot what we talked about first now.
we've covered some Lego stuff, because we talked about Lego.
We talked about what we're working on.
Do we want to talk about Jurassic Park sets?
Oh, yeah, we can.
And I want to talk about Jurassic Park, not Jurassic World. But
Is there a difference?
well, yes, because the Jurassic World set is actually incredible. The Jurassic Park ones are just your usual vehicle with dinosaurs.
Do you mean the other way around?
Did I say it backwards?
You said Jurassic World set is incredible. The Jurassic Park sets are garbage, basically.
Yeah. Reverse that. Scratch
Reverse
that. Yeah.
I mean, I really like.
They're not garbage. They're just the typical ones, you know.
Yeah. I like some of them, but none of the Jurassic World sets I like for the builds. I like for the minifigures and the dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem with I find with this theme. But the Jurassic Park one, I'm so happy to get in the Ford Explorer finally.
And not the Jeep.
Oh,
I
I would love the Jeep as well, but I got told off when I accidentally called it a Jeep before.
I know that's been something that's been going around on the internet. Everyone's been gatekeeping. And like,
yeah. Yeah, I accidentally called it the Jurassic Park Jeep on a previous video. I think when I was like Lego Ideas projects that you should support or didn't get approved, one of those videos, and people were like, "It's not a Jeep, it's a Ford Explorer. The Jeep is the other one." And I was like, "Okay, I will go kill myself now. Out of dishonor."
I mean, I still call them the Jeep.
I got better.
I mean, it's. I mean, they're right. Congratulations, it's not a Jeep, but you know,
Yeah.
what did we accomplish here? You knew exactly what I was talking about. And it's like, I don't even think they're going to say they're Ford Explorers in the Lego set because they're probably
No,
not
they
gonna
won't tell them that. The other thing is, in the film, he says, "Or will you take one of the gas Jeeps?" As if to differentiate from another kind of Jeep. So I think
that
you know,
adds into it. Of the
that adds into it. You know, especially as a kid, to me, most 4x4s I call Jeeps. If I didn't call them Jeeps, I call them like Land Rovers. You know. But yeah, I'm glad to get in that vehicle because that is one of the vehicles I've always wanted in Lego. I'm less keen about the brick-built T-Rex. How do you feel about that?
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Only because you know it's going to be easy to swap in another T-Rex if you want it. I think it should be brick-built because it is definitely an 18+ set. And for people who are not super into Lego like us, when they see those molded dinosaurs, it just looks like generic play toy, you know.
Yeah.
So if they're building this for a wide 18+, and they're just gonna have people who are super Jurassic World fan, Jurassic Park fans, jeez.
Stand by. Joe.
Here's the problem. You guys can probably hear me, but I can't hear you at all.
Well, that's fine. We're all just saying how much of a twat you are.
Yeah, whatever. Sure, say bad things about me. I can't hear it. All right, I'll talk to y'all later.
I said
Welcome to
bad
Salt
things
Lake
about
City, by the way. Bye.
Hi, Joe.
This has been very illuminating.
I was excited for his return until he decided to antagonize me.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Joe Chambers, our reporter in the field in Salt Lake City.
Why do you have a green biro?
Why not?
Because you're a nerd. Nerds have green biros.
I don't disagree. Have you seen the clock?
Well, that's geeky. That's not nerdy.
What do you think is the cheapest color of 2x8 plate?
The 2x8?
Ooh.
I would say reddish brown. Just
Light
guessing.
bluish grey?
Oh, actually, yeah, probably light bluish grey with all the Star Wars sets.
It actually has double $sign.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
There's a ton of single $signs, so I guess I can make it whatever color I want.
Blue.
A blue it will be.
Because, hang on a sec. One of these.
Right, when he's gone, everyone just hide under the table. Look at this. He still hasn't taken that smoking symbol off his chair.
Right. One bloody second, you.
Like, what's he going to do? Is he leaving it on there so he can return it if he changes his mind? He's had it for like a year. Oh, he goes now with his penknife. Because you can't have a scissors like a real person. He's got to have a knife. There we go.
You happy now?
Yes.
That's not a knife.
Just for good measure, I'll burn it down now.
Why do you have a box of matches in your Lego room?
I like candles.
Oh my word! I knew there was going to be a candle-related answer.
In case he ever goes berserk like I did, he could just burn it all down.
Just in case anybody upsets me whilst I'm doing instructions for him, I'll just set fire to things.
You normally just threaten me with the delete button.
Oh yeah, that's always handy, but sometimes you need that extra step.
I don't think you will delete it now because you put too much of your own life into it.
Don't tempt me, tough guy.
You're a grumpy bugger today, aren't you? Do you want a hug?
Yeah, because I woke up to a good message. Here's the file you want. And then the file didn't do what I wanted.
But that wasn't my fault.
You didn't let me finish. You did not let me finish. Was I going to say it was your fault? No, I was going to say Photoshop, Illustrator, and Adobe PDF were doing something stupid, but when you put the image into Studio went, I've got this, blokes. I've got this. Me, the inferior rendering app, and an image processing application. I've got this. I'll get rid of them tram lines.
See, this is what confuses me, because if you had put it into Studio and it didn't work, I go, oh, it's one of those things where you take something from one program, put it in another, and it doesn't like it. But we literally went from Adobe Photoshop to Adobe Illustrator, and it was like, nah, man. But only on that one layer.
Yeah. Do you know what the funny thing was, though? In Studio, it shows the tram lines, but when you render it out, it doesn't.
Well, that's why I originally thought, because I remember when me and Spacetime were doing the Scooby-Doo one, he was concerned that all my designs had like a white outline. And it was like, it's like a preview thing, wasn't it, Space?
Yeah.
Because I was there like contracting the image and like deleting it. And he go, no, it's still there. I'm like, how can it be there? And then we realized it's a preview thing.
I was just responding to you calling me Space, and I'm like, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I didn't have enough time.
He's funny, isn't he? Someone get this guy a microphone for his stand-up show.
Honestly, it's like you hate me this evening.
No, I'm just trying to. No, I don't hate you yet.
Wow.
So
Like I said earlier, I felt like you were going to rage quit our friendship. I was like, oh.
Oh no, that's like if you rocked up at my door and I don't know, slept with Lady Sam on my sofa. You know, that would be rage
Oh,
quit.
come on! If I was going to do it, I'd use your bed. You know, I'm 35 now. I've got a bad back. I can't be doing sofas anymore.
Kind of bad. Oh, that's the bit that killed me.
The conversations
yeah.
we have.
Fair enough.
So you can't like end friendship with me, because who else would you have these like wonderful conversations with?
Again, you raise a good point. You do raise a good point, and it annoys me when you do that.
I really like. I've got like the images open to do some work on the Back to the Future CMF video while I'm here, but I feel like I'm at a point now where there's not much I can do without like writing the script and recording a voiceover, and I just don't feel like doing that right now. Do you ever get that? Like you hit a wall in a project and you know what needs to be done, and you almost want to skip over that step to the next part?
Yeah, that's where I am.
You both spoke at the same time then?
Oh no, I said I do that with all my videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I am now. I know what needs to be done on the instructions, but I'm there going, that's a lot of work. It's why
you take a break sometimes, isn't it? You go away from it. Like I remember someone used to have a go. What was it? It might have been one of my teachers. But I remember like when I used to work on stuff before, and then I would like get midway through it and I'd hit a block and I'd start something else, and I got criticized for it and said, "Oh no, you need to see something through to the end." So I used to force myself to see through a project to the end and end up hating it. When I actually think it's healthier if you hit like a roadblock and you have like that inspiration to do something else, go over to that and you can go back and forth, because you have to go where like your creative juices are flowing. For lack of a better term.
I agree.
I get people say, "Oh, you shouldn't start something else until you finish what you're working on." But I feel like when you're trying to do something that's, requires a level of creativity, it can work that way. Well, Jacob's calling me out in the chat, by the way.
Well, that looks awfully familiar.
Yeah, I guess that's one way to put it. He's denying us all the work of his genius.
I wouldn't say it's not because I don't feel like the Back to the Future CMF. Like I've enjoyed working on it. It got put on pause because I did kind of hit a bit of a wall, but also I was feeling super like, I guess inspired is probably the word. I know it sounds a bit pretentious, but inspired by Ghostbusters Afterlife. I wanted to make Ghostbusters Afterlife content.
Yeah, I mean,
and I was like, oh, I'll wait until I've done the Back to the Future CMF, which just seemed pointless. Why not just do it while I feel like doing it? So that's what I did. And then after that, I felt like, yeah, I want to finish off the Back to the Future one. The problem I had is that when I wanted to do it, I had a lot of weird shifts in work, and also I've been ill, which has kind of like impeded it. Like I had a migraine for like 5 days straight. It was ridiculous. And now it's all pretty much done, apart from putting it into a video, and that's the part for some reason that I'm struggling with. Not creating the Back to the Future, but the minifigures, but actually sort of doing a video where I talk about it, which is ironic because, as you have probably gathered, I do like to talk.
I didn't know that.
No. So I mean,
just learned something about you.
That's exactly how I was with the Scooby-Doo. Is like I had no desire to make a behind-the-scenes video because I'm like, I'm done. It's great. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I know. I actually had someone comment the other day and was like, I went to Spacetime's channel. There is no behind-the-scenes video.
Did you tell him to like, comment, subscribe, and maybe it'll show up? One of my great failings in life.
Mate, we've all been there. I mean, I've got loads of those littered over my channel where I'm like, I'm going to do this next. I mean, my Back to the Future mock never materialized. I think I mentioned it in one of my Q&A videos, like what happened to it, and I showed like how far I got with it. But I designed the CMF, the custom minifigures, so that had them printed by minifigs.me, was going to work on some more, and it just didn't happen. I mean, look at the Pirates of the Caribbean. I wanted to review every Pirates of the Caribbean set, but because I got called back to work from furlough, I suddenly had a lot less time, and that kind of fell by the wayside. Which annoys me because those reviews were doing really well, and I was enjoying doing them, and I liked the format. And I said this year I was going to pick it back up, but I don't know at the moment.
But yeah, just like I said, I was going to do a full review of the Titanic.
Yeah.
I'm like, ugh. People have already done it. I don't have the energy for this. It's too big.
That's what she said.
If you like it, buy it. If you don't.
I don't know, Sam. In what you said in the private chat, I do see some similarities, but I kind of feel like that's just two people.
No, it's the ring. The whole ring structure is exactly the same.
Is it really? Or they just hiding it with those minifigure plates?
They're hiding it with those modified plates in the middle.
They're the ones that come with like the CMF ones, yeah.
Yeah.
This is going to be like The Office now. There's just going to be
But
10.
you know what? Like I said to you, Craggle, there's only so many ways you can design a circle.
That's what I was thinking. Like, I don't know.
There is only so many ways.
Because I remember when you would design yours, I think you come across someone else who had like done something similar with the chevron. You were like, "Oh, I can't do it that way," and I was like, "Why not?" Like, you didn't copy the person; you just both came up with a very similar design.
Guys, I need help making a rectangle, and I can't use a 2x4 brick. That was a joke. Sorry.
I was laughing. I knew that was a joke this time.
Okay, Sam just got really quiet.
Sam
I was distracted. I've put a request into downstairs.
Oh,
Oh,
you making food?
No drinks.
Oh, can I place an order?
You can see if it makes its way over there.
Oh, by the way, I actually need to ask Mrs. Craggle something. I'll be back.
Oh, can I ask her something too?
Yeah, let's all ask Mrs. Craggle a question.
So yeah, tomorrow we're going to do another members-only live stream where she builds TARDIS store.
Like how you just had to make sure this time.
I know, because last time I announced it without checking with her first. I just assumed I had a conversation with her about it, and I hadn't.
Yes, you did. Hello.
Hello.
Oh
What's
dear.
that? Oh, I was tempted to say put some cider in the fridge.
I got one in the fridge. I think I got a pineapple.
Hello.
We still got some cider from when we went to that cider farm on our honeymoon. Because I'm not a big drinker. I went before my wedding, or before my stag do, I should say. Actually, it was like 2.5, almost 3 years since I had an alcoholic drink. So, but the cider we got from the cider farm in Cornwall was absolutely delicious. But I don't drink to get drunk. I just like the taste. So I'll have like one bottle, and that'll do me for the evening.
I found 2 peaches. Got 2 peaches.
So, I got 2 people.
Man, I don't think I haven't consumed alcohol in like 2 years.
Yeah. I remember, I think I had this conversation before, so sorry if I'm repeating myself, but I remember this is going back about 3 or 4 years, but when I was like doing lots of cosplay and we were kind of like hanging out with the cosplayers, there was one guy who I was friends with who was about 3 or 4 years younger than me, and he was just trying to get me to go out and get smashed all the time, and I was like, no, I don't, you fine if you want to do that, but I don't want to do it. He's like, oh, but mate, you gotta go. I was like, I've done it all before, mate. I did that in my 20s. I'm in my 30s now. I'm not interested. I'm glad that I did it when I did, but now, nah. I'd rather go home and like order pizza and watch Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares.
Oh yeah, Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares USA.
The USA one is better, but he swears less, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
But I like it because they make like in the UK one, it's kind of all very matter of fact, kind of like yeah, it is what it is. In the US, they do that whole like I don't know what noise it is. They use it on like all American programs, like Storage Hunters, porn stars and stuff, where like someone looks at someone, and they do that noise, like oh, big drama, like quick crash zooms into someone's face, someone in the restaurant gasping and stuff. It's crap, but it's also immensely entertaining. Oh, There's a question here from Mrs. Craggle that I've just noticed on the screen.
Yeah.
Mrs. Craggle, Jacob says to you, "What's it like loving someone who has a second wife, aka Sam Jones?" She says she doesn't mind.
I suppose you could ask the same question to Lady Sam.
I mean, in all fairness, I think Mrs. Craggle said to me it's good because if she says she's got a headache, I've got somewhere else to turn.
That's fair enough. I haven't used those words in a long time.
Yeah, it was when I put on it. Was it on Insta? I think it was on Instagram. I said, "Oh, my Lego wife." And I remember you went to object, and then you were like, "Nah, that's fair."
Yeah, no, I can't object, can I? Lady Sam's in there, keeps them occupied. In more ways than one.
Well, I just realised there's a meme actually on my Craggle's Discord that I think that Spacetime would get a kick out of.
Oh yeah, I'd have to log in.
It's not the most recent one, but the one before that.
I thought I've been posting some good stuff.
You have. Fair play.
All right, let's open up this Discord. Check out the memers.
Discord.
Oh no.
The jetpack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that guy though. That makes those internet videos, pointing out the obvious.
That fight though looks so badass in the trailer, and it's just Boba getting his ass handed to him. And it's never really like you don't feel like they've got like the upper hand on him at all. It's kind of like it's like the opposite of plot armor. What's the opposite of plot armor? Because you know what I mean. When the plot just someone survives something or is impervious to something just because the plot needs them to be. I felt like that was the opposite in the Book of Boba Fett. Boba Fett was just weak because they needed him to be.
I'm trying to think of a good word for it. What is the word you would use? But yeah, just basically weakness.
Yeah, I can't think of one. There's a gap there in the English language that needs to be filled.
Yeah, I think we need to make one.
We need to think of a word. Answers on the back of a postcard, please.
There's probably a German word for it.
You reckon?
I mean, they have a lot of odd words for things and feelings, so it just seems like it would be a funny joke to say that they do have one.
A plot arrow. I don't know about that. I guess you mean like the arrow to the knee reference, maybe. I was thinking like Achilles' heel or something, but it's not even that. It's like, yeah, I guess his plot weakness is probably the most accurate one, but it doesn't sound. It doesn't.
Yeah, it just sounds wrong. Plot armor sounds so good.
Yeah, plot weakness feels.
I am protected by the plot. I am hindered by the plot. So what hinders you?
Yeah.
Hindered only by the plot.
I thought like he was going to attack them for a second. Like I thought someone broke into Spacetime's room or something, and he was like karate chopping them in the neck.
Not that exciting.
Yeah, I just can't think. I don't know. So, anything else that we want to talk about? You want to talk about the Jurassic Park set, but I don't. I feel like I did most of the talking.
I mean, I think it's everything I want in an adult Lego set.
I bet there's one thing that it doesn't have that you want. It doesn't have a goat.
Yeah. And part of me is like, I'm gonna go buy goat off of BrickLink, and I'm like, nope, that's what old Peter would do, because that would just double the cost of the set.
Basically, the goat is so expensive, it's ridiculous. And the worst thing is that it's within the space of a year. There's another opportunity that they could have brought it back, and then just like, nope, no lamb chops for you. Do you think they should have done a brick built goat because it's an 18+ set?
That's a very interesting thing to bring up. I think the smaller scale animals are more Lego and more cute.
Yeah.
So I think that would be acceptable to keep as a mold.
I mean, could they have not even have used like, do you know, like the steak piece with the bone handle, minifigure handle?
That I might get, because that
just put that on the roof.
That is definitely affordable and comical.
Yeah. I'm disappointed we don't have like the guy sat on the toilet.
You know, this is where the mocks come in hand. You're giving me all kinds of great ideas.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, I'm gonna add the this piece of steak up against the window, you know, of the Jeep. Ooh, I said Jeep. Ooh.
I'll tell you what I'm not happy with that set is the minifigure of Alan. Like, I'm glad we're getting a variant, but I just don't like how they've done. I guess it's supposed to be the rain on him.
Okay.
Like, the kids are covered in mud, that makes sense. But with him, I guess it's supposed to be before he goes down the mud to try and, get Lex and everyone out. So he's just like got like water on his face print, and it just looks odd to me.
Okay. Yeah, because
Hey, Click and Cliff is here.
Hey, Click and Cliff.
I did see Holly make a comment on Kelly BrickClick about the T-Rex should have been made of the darker brown, just because it's a rain scene, and it just it's a little bright. And I'm like, yeah, that's interesting. It definitely is an interesting critique, but it's like I don't know what the part usage is like in all the colors, so. I
mean, I don't have a problem with the color of the T-Rex. They've varied drastically across the sets and the films themselves as well. So I just personally, I'm not a fan of the brick built T-Rex. I guess it is a smaller version of the one we got in the game set. Like that.
And to be honest, that wasn't like a legitimate criticism. That was like trying to come up with something,
right?
Something to say bad about it.
Yeah. No, I get that. Would you like them to do other sets like this, like cut out scene displays, and what sort of stuff would you like to see them do?
For me, yes, because I think that's where where I can see myself taking this hobby, is buying the smaller vignettes, like a Bro Thor's house, like a small scene from a movie.
I mean, this is a larger vignette, but yeah, I get it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just saying that's like one side of the scale. Like you can price it from $20, or maybe it was $30, $30 to $200.
Bye, Jacob.
Bye, Jacob. Heading off. See you later, mate.
Because this Ghostbusters thing, I think is probably going to end up costing $400 to $500 to build.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm gonna get the satisfaction of I designed this, I built this.
Yeah.
And it's like,
are you still gonna take it to conventions?
Yeah, I want to.
I think that would be cool.
I'm probably not gonna make it to the Portland one next month.
Oh no.
I'll probably look for the local Boise one whenever we decided it's gonna be, and then definitely I want to try to make it to Salt Lake this year for Brick Slopes. But I guess the next big one is Brick World Chicago in the summer. That's where all the YouTube friends are going.
Get over to one of these big shows in the old America.
Yeah. When are you traveling next for work, or you have no idea?
I'm not this year.
Not at all. Is that sad in you?
I've been confined to the UK and the UK only.
Is that
Evidently,
because your ankle bracelet?
No. That stops me from going to Wales.
Oh, wait. We arranged to meet up next month, so
I guess
Tell
someone's
everybody the secret.
someone's cutting off their foot.
Yeah. No. It's just because there's people out in America who we contract in to do what I do. So.
Gotcha. And it wasn't me.
No, Scott.
I know. Every time I say that, Scott's like, "Don't take my job."
So, what other scenes would you like to see then in the Jurassic Park, like the 18+ format?
I'm thinking like the boulder from Indiana Jones with some of the natives outside. You know.
So almost, I guess, like a sort of profile of like
Yeah,
corridor with the boulder and maybe some of the traps and stuff.
yeah, and like Alfred Molina, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what? That would be a good one. I would like that. That would be cool.
And then I know I've discussed this with you before. I really want to do the train robbery from Back to the Future 3.
Yeah.
I want to specifically title it "The Point of No Return," with Clara and Doc hanging off the edge of the train,
That would be good.
and have it like mid explosion too. You know?
What, with the DeLorean being pushed in from the front with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just a small little windmill build, you know, behind it on the other side of the tracks. You know?
Yeah. That would be ace.
So I think that's another mock I want to design this year. I'm definitely going to do that. That trilogy is just so fulfilling.
But Back to the Future.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
I love that parts 2 and 3 were written and made at the same time. It's like, oh wow.
It's
It's
like a
like-
retroactive trilogy that's done well because, like,
Right.
like I said, when they did the first one, they put that sting at the end, but they never really,
If we can come back to it, we can, you know.
yeah. But like the idea was kind of like the first film was what happens if you went to school with your kid with your parents. So they said like the logical thing to hint at was what happened if you went to school with your kids. Obviously, we didn't get that. The sequel went another direction, but the way it was done, it still felt so organic, even with having like some recasting with Jennifer and stuff.
Could you imagine Ryan Johnson directing part 2?
Oh, for crying out loud! Don't do that.
And then J.J. Abrams comes in for part 3.
No.
Who is this guy?
I mean, I was thinking more like I remember The Matrix. They did the first film, and then when they got green to do sequels, they did 2 and 3 back to back, and it didn't feel like a trilogy at all. I mean, I had other problems, but even Pirates of the Caribbean, I feel like that was a mistake because they did the first film, which was a standalone adventure, and then I enjoyed 2. I mean, 2 is probably my favorite in some ways, and I enjoyed parts of 3. But the mistake I always say is that they tried to make it a trilogy rather than like they tried to go the Star Wars, Lord of the Rings route rather than going the Indiana Jones route.
Yeah.
Like, I feel Pirates of the Caribbean would have worked better if it went Indiana Jones, where each one is a different adventure, with a different sort of MacGuffin, different villain, Trying to tie it all in. Like, I hated when before the third one came out, and they're like, "Oh, you remember when Jack Sparrow said, oh, clearly never been to Singapore?" Well, that was a hint that we're going to Singapore in the third film.
No, it wasn't.
And it was like, no, it wasn't. It was a throwaway gag about corsets in the first film that you've now turned into a massive plot point. It's stupid.
I've said this before. The first movie is my favorite. It's that right touch of Disney magic, and Jack Sparrow's not really a main character. He's just progressing the plot.
Really, isn't he? He's like Han Solo to Luke and Leia.
Exactly. This is and it's like, and eventually that's how these subsequent films failed. Is they're going to make Jack the most important person in these.
I think it worked in the fourth one because the fourth one I liked that it was a self-contained one-off story.
I keep forgetting that movie because I only watched it once, and it probably deserves a rewatching.
I feel like that it's underrated. Is it perfect? No. And like with number 2, I keep saying it's my favorite. I know that it's like the beginning of the end. It's like when the wheels start to come off because it's when they start like trying to make it all convoluted. But I do enjoy it and it has some great stuff in there. But in terms of like, I think the best all-round film, you're right. It's definitely the first one. It's just a good old-fashioned swashbuckler that takes inspiration from the Disney pirate, live-action pirate movies of old. I mean, I always feel like it's almost in some ways a retelling of the Three Musketeers in some ways. Like Will Turner is very much a D'Artagnan type character.
Yeah.
I am not super familiar with the Three Musketeers, other than there's 3 of them. So,
really,
yeah, I'm.
I honestly thought that would be something that you would know a lot about. Oh wow.
Yeah. So I do have some failings.
If you're gonna watch the Musketeer movies, I would say watch the ones with Christopher Lee and Oliver Reed.
Okay.
The Three Musketeers and Four Musketeers. Famously, this is part of the reason why actors' contracts now stipulate how many projects they're working on at a time, because they basically filmed the movie and realized they had so much material they could make it into 2 movies. So they split in 2 movies, but the actors only got paid for 1, so they ended up suing the studio.
Ah. Good on them. Speaking of not getting paid, did you see they're trying to bring back Futurama?
Yes.
Oh, God, yeah.
Without Bender?
Well, without
John DiMaggio.
Yeah, John DiMaggio, who is like a voice. He's like, so many people don't realize how much stuff he's done. It's crazy.
And I apparently he's holding out because he doesn't feel like everyone's being paid what they should be. So I can't speak to what is a fair rate for a voice actor, but I guess good on him.
I thought he hadn't been asked back.
Oh no, it came out this week. Like he said on Twitter, he's like, "This is why I'm not going back, because we have paid disagreements."
Oh, I thought it was that they hadn't asked him because he just was like, he was already priced out.
Right. He claims he's making a stand because it's getting to be really bad practice in the voice acting world of severely underpaying the voice actors.
Oh yeah.
And I guess people like Billy West, Katie Seagal are just desperate for work and just take anything,
Oh no, Billy West is the M&Ms.
What's that?
Billy West is Red M&M.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
He's got plenty of work.
Notoriously underpaid, though. They really are. I mean, I remember. Oh, what was it? I was watching something. I think it was about Frank Welker, who is the voice of Fred Jones. Most Scooby-Doo stuff.
Yeah.
He was also
too, right?
Huh?
He was Megatron, right? Or am I thinking of someone else?
I think you're right. Yeah, he's a very prolific voice actor. Has been for decades. He also voiced Ray Stantz from Real Ghostbusters, and he talked about like back in the day. I don't know when this phased out, because when the interview was from I think from the 80s, and at the point it was still this practice was still ongoing. But they used to say that you used to get paid per gig, and in the gig you expected to do at least 3 voices. So you could go there thinking that you're playing one character, and then on the day they're like, "Oh, by the way, you got to read these lines and these lines. You got to do a different voice." Which is why, like, if you watch a lot of Scooby-Doo, you'll realize that Frank Welker, when you get an ear for his voice, he does a lot of like the one-off sheriffs and sort of scientists that the gang meet and stuff.
Yeah,
and even Real Ghostbusters, you'll also pick up. Wait, that's Ray's voice.
And everyone's like, "Oh wow, he's such a genius," or whatever. He can do anything. It's like, well, they made him.
Yeah.
So, and even Mark Hamill came out and supported DiMaggio.
Yeah.
So,
I think until recent, I don't think it's the case now they have to do 3, but I think it was a fairly recent thing that they've tried to sort of make the contracts for voice actors a bit more fair. Because you think about even back in the animated series, in the pilot, Kevin Conroy also voices one of the cops in the blimp at the start.
Yeah, and that's just dumb. I was like,
So the first
Why
time
is,
you hear
why
his
is
voice,
Bruce Wayne in a blimp?
Mm.
You know.
as a kid, you don't really notice it because. Sorry, I've got pizza. And these voice actors do a great job of doing different voices, but when you become like almost a super fan of a certain actor, you get an ear for their voice.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like even Mark Hamill, who can do so many different voices. Quite often, I'll go, pretty sure that's Mark Hamill's voice, and I'm normally right,
And it's like even in the old days with Mel Blanc doing like almost every single Looney Tune.
Yeah.
I guess I can share my screen and show you guys progress.
Yeah,
go for it.
Sam, you're gonna have to do some talking. I'm eating pizza.
Well,
It's your stream. You should be doing more talking than I am.
I can't get a word in edgeways.
Yeah, whenever I go silent, the stream goes silent. I feel like the pressure is on me for the feel the void.
So before I had all these it was very blocky because I had those 16 by 16 plates. And now I've just made a little bit more angular in the front. So this is just sitting on a black, kind of like in the style of the vignettes that they're coming out with the Jurassic Park 18 plus set and like the Vader's meditation chamber. So that this is just like sitting in an abyss. So it's like, it looks like it's the top of the building and not on the ground.
Yeah, because I remember you were thinking at one point of having it like up a couple inches, weren't you? Like having just like the wall.
Yeah, I might still do that. I'm focusing on building the frame right now. So right now I'm just building the supports because it's like I don't want to make this all brick. So I got all the way around here because this is definitely going to be walled up, and then the pyramid's going to go on that section. I probably should make those black. That's going to show.
I have a problem here.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking earlier about like plagiarism. You blatantly stole those pterodogs from my Dirt Farm set. I totally didn't steal them from Lego Dimensions.
I was pretty sure I stole them from Lego Dimensions. You stole them from me. But yeah. But yeah, I really want to get that Dana Barrett figure as well, and Lewis Tully, even though they're not like. So it can do the after scene as well. It would be nice to like build like a broken Pterodog that we can pull Lewis Tully out of.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in that final scene, there's actually four broken pterodogs because there's the original like statues that are broken apart. Like the idea is the pterodogs come out the statue, the rubble.
Oh yeah,
and then there's the burnt remains of them that the humans then come out of. It's kind of like Russian dolls almost.
So this is the debate. It's like, do I fully enclose this pyramid area with 4 walls? Or I mean 3 walls and a ceiling? Or do I just do 2 walls so you can look at it from the side here? So like just do this back wall and then...
I think before we talked about it, I like the idea of having that in a box so you have to look through the doors and having lights inside it.
Yeah.
And maybe like that cotton wool stuff for like
yeah,
if you're okay with adding a non-Lego element. But I definitely think this would stand out more if it was enclosed and you kind of got to go and look through the doors. I think it would be more of a feature then.
And you know what? I should just make the walls modular so you can do either.
That's a good shout.
Yeah.
And then if someone says, "Oh, I can't bend down because I've got a sore back and I'm only 35," you can remove the wall.
Yeah. Oh my god! I almost choked on my pizza then.
And I know I discussed before about doing other vignettes along the side from earlier in the movie, but I think we'll just stick with like building decorative tan.
Yeah,
greebling. Because I at first I was thinking on this backside at least that would be away from people. I thought it'd be cool to do like the hotel hallway scene with Slimer, and like the cleaning lady.
What the hell are you doing?
So, but yeah.
I always love the bit where Egon prods the man and then is disappointed that he's actually real.
How expensive are these in black? Oh, they're pretty cheap.
How am I going to do that?
That's the point. We've got to figure out where we're going to get the funds to build a dirt farm, because I'm guessing one of us has to test build it before we make the instructions public.
Oh, you're not going to go the Republic Bricks route?
What's
I
that?
would.
You build a model digitally and then start selling it, and then give it to your big YouTuber friend M&R Productions and do a full review, and then just show how poorly built it is.
Oh, really?
Like almost as if, have you never seen him do a review of like the custom Star Wars stuff?
I think I saw one of his gunship one.
Yeah, and it's like, and he like clearly states like, yeah, it seems like they never built this set and just built it digitally, you know.
Yeah, that's one thing you do need to do, particularly with stuff like that. I mean, I feel like with this one, it shouldn't be too much of an issue because it's a building, like, you know, with 3 walls and stuff. But even then, it's not going to have stuff like, well, I mean, like when you do like a spacecraft with wings off the side, you know what I mean? You're not taking into account gravity on those wings, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, very true, because that's the one thing I worry about all the time with that War Rocket Ajax, with how I hitch those wings. It's like, are they really going to stay there? Evidently they do, but I didn't think they would. But
Find
with
out
a building, with a building, it's just walls.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing you might got to account for is, have we placed the brick in the right place and in the steps.
The only thing I'm a little bit cautious about is the porch roof. I know you said that you double checked that and you think I did it right.
I think I'll be fine.
But I am a little bit like, oh, is gravity gonna? I mean, the idea is I kind of took the idea from the Stranger Things porch, but I didn't like how that was supported, so I changed it.
I don't think gravity is going to be our issue.
Okay.
If there's going to be an issue, it's going to be that connection at the corner.
Yeah.
But I can't see that being an issue because it's connected. I know Studio's not the best tool, but it's connected in Studio.
Yeah.
I don't have a wedge corner piece like that. Otherwise, I'd knock it up and just make sure it did exactly what I thought it would do. But I don't think that will be as much of an issue as we think it is going to be.
And we said at the moment it's around £190, is it?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
But that, bear in mind, that's raw. What Studio thinks when you put it into Bricklink, that might be more or less.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's less, but they sting you on the shipping. Sometimes it's more, and yeah, it is what it is.
The
But
thing is, whenever you get parts, you know, when you get parts from like Bricklink or even Bricks and Pieces to make a mock, you're not going to get the same price that you would getting that amount of bricks in an actual set, because when you get bricks in the set, there is a level of discount with that.
yeah,
I know it sounds weird because with a set, you're paying for the design, you're paying for the license, you're paying for the packaging, you're paying, you know, whatever. But I have found that if you bought the pieces from the set separately, it will always cost you more than buying the set itself. And I think that is done purposely to stop people just going out and buying bricks and not buying the sets off the shelves, you know?
yeah, I think there's an element to that because I've certainly noticed when I buy particular bricks, whether it be the white curve slopes or.
Well, for example, it was cheaper for you to get more Saturn 5s than it was to get the pieces that that you needed from them, wouldn't it? You know.
That's just because that's an incredible price point. Because it's like almost 2,000 pieces for 125.
Yeah.
Less than that in the UK.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, with what Joe had designed, he had deliberately used all of the available parts from the Saturn V.
Yeah.
So you were only ordering a tiny amount of additional stuff or additional parts that never showed up in the Saturn V originally.
But even the concept of Bricklink relies on the fact that pieces are more separate, cost more separately than they do as a set, because they always say that the part I bought this set for $30, the part out value is like $50. Otherwise, there would be no, thing for it.
Yes and no, because it's like to find the pieces you want. If you totally just rebuilt a set using if you do a rebrickable route where you use all the pieces from a set to build something new, that works great. But it's like, how often are you going to find all the pieces you need in a set number of sets?
Right. You said no, but you kind of backed up my point.
Maybe I just misunderstood you.
Well, basically, my bottom line is, my point is that if you say my set, say for example, is got like 1,000 pieces in there.
Okay.
If you were to buy a set with the same amount of pieces and it costs like £100, but if you wanted to buy the pieces to make my mock, it would cost you more, because with sets, they're always going to be better value for pieces than if you buy the pieces on their own individually from BrickLink or eBay or even from Lego Direct.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's always going to cost you more to get the pieces individually. That's what I'm trying to say.
Gotcha.
In terms of like a similar amount,
I don't. It depends, I think, because I've ordered stupid amount of bricks from BrickLink. I mean, the stuff in this room is all from BrickLink.
Okay, let me put it another way. What set do you know on shelves that is cheaper to go on BrickLink and buy all the parts for individually rather than buy the set itself off the shelf?
Do you know what? I've never done that exercise.
I think that you'd have to find one on a ridiculously reduced price.
So let me. I can do one. The Nebulon B, Comic-Con exclusive.
Okay, yeah, because that's
No. I just want to break up an example so we have a point, because I've done this. It sold on Amazon for $40. I built it in studio, and I got a BrickLink price before shipping of about $80. So that is just once. I know it's not.
Yeah, well, I mean, not don't mean like exclusive ones that cost more because they were like a limited offer. I mean, in terms of like ready, available retail sets that you could buy in most toy stores or supermarkets. Because if you want to go and get like Jacob was even giving an example of the Batmobile promo that came with the 89 Batman.
Let me look up the 89 Bat. I got that built, so we'll see how much that costs.
What, the actual like the big one or the promo?
The big one.
Okay, because the promo definitely will cost more because it's like one of those things that's gone up in value because of the fact it was rare. What I'm talking about is the recommended retail price of the set is always going to be cheaper than if you went and bought the pieces yourself.
Yes. I think we're all agreeing. I can't find that file right now. I'll open up Boba Fett's helmet. Model info. It will cost $111 to build Boba Fett's helmet from scratch.
Yeah.
When that sold for what, 50 or 60?
Yeah, I mean it went down to like 35, I think, in the UK at one point.
And now it's going right back up.
My point came, I think, what I was trying to say is that I'm already in my head counter arguing people who are going to look at the instructions and go, "Oh, to build this set, it's going to cost me almost double what a official set the same size would."
Exactly.
And it's like, well, that's because that is always the case.
Yeah, you respond to them. It's like, this is what custom sets are. You know.
Like, if you've got any set, on shelves, regular, retail available set, the recommended retail price for that set would always be less than if you were to get the parts out separately.
Correct.
That was what I was trying to say. I probably didn't word it well.
I think everyone will agree with that.
Yeah.
Because, as soon as someone says that, you can be like, I understand this is your first time buying a custom set, but, people have to source these. It's like, and if I sourced this for you and sold it to you as a kit, you can double it again,
Yeah.
Time, effort, box.
Well, I think that Joe has, a couple of times where people buy his instructions and think that's the price of a whole kit, It's like,
it's just insane.
How would a business operate on that,
You wouldn't.
Let alone someone who's doing it, with less resources off their own back,
I will back you on your point, Craggle. I've just parted out the Saturn V set, which is 1,969 pieces, and done a wanted list. It's £109 currently in the UK as a full set from Lego. Bricklink, £175.56p.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. So, whilst the set, I think, Dirt Farm set, once we have the instructions on there, the parts are going to be around 190. People are going to say, "Oh, this set should be around 110." It's like, yeah, exactly. And that Saturn V is a great example of that. You're kind of almost doubling it, or just under. You're adding about 80%, basically, aren't you?
Yeah, you are.
But I shouldn't. Or I'm already prepping myself, I guess, for the negative comments. But I shouldn't do that. I should think about how excited I am for it and how.
Mate, the thing is, if we go the plan that we're going to go with it, you won't get the comments. I will.
Well, I'll probably get them on the YouTube video, so I'm going to do a video about it.
Obviously, but what I would, I always put in all my descriptions and everything like that, going, if you park this out on Bricklink, it is going to cost you money, a lot of money. It is not a cheap exercise. Do you ever put plain as day?
Do you ever put out like, oh, hey, this is how much it cost me to do in April of 2020?
I did that on the TARDIS.
Okay.
That's part of the reason why I've been trying to encourage you to do the sonic screwdrivers, because I think people will go to your shop on Etsy, want to do the TARDIS, but then if they're just casual Lego fans, or casual Doctor Who fans who don't really understand custom sets cost a lot of money, they might go, oh, actually that's too much. But then they see the sonic screwdriver, look at that, oh, that's only going to cost You
give them something they can buy.
Exactly, yeah.
It's just the same thing. Like an art show, you see the big giant piece of the original thing. It's like $500, and then you see a postcard for $5, and you're like, I can do that.
Yeah.
What I will say to that, my only rebuttal, stop giving me work to do, Craggle.
What can I say except you're welcome?
Yeah, I'm only trying to help you. I am trying to help you make something that you can sell and make money from. I'm sorry.
I know, it's just I have priorities, and doing stuff for you is more of a priority right now than anything else.
No, I understand. It's not like, I told you to do sonic screwdrivers last year.
Well, I decided to move house.
I'm going to share my screen one more time. I just wanted to show.
Sure.
The instead of plating and tiling it off, I think I'm going to put these brackets in and just build sideways with brick. Since I guess I used to have a lot of these. But these 1x2x5s on their side just to build a smooth black surface in there on their side instead of plating this all out. Yeah, that's all.
No, I like that. Using the snot technique.
Yeah.
What was that?
There's someone flying around in front of my face.
Oh, I thought you were dismissing like space-time's building technique and saying, "No, this is stinky. We do not care for your snot building techniques. I fart in your general direction.
That's what I got from it, and I was like,
Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelt of elderberries."
it's like fine.
Are you done? Yeah, no, it was just something in my face.
I know when I'm not wanted.
Oh,
You are wanted. Stay.
I want you, space-time. That sounded.
Don't leave me alone with him.
Well, go on then, read it out.
I'm trying to read it first. Jacob says, I want to start my own business where I gather the pieces for my instructions, but also make custom box art that is different from how Lego does box art. And also have a t-shirt saying, what does it say? We want Lego BTAS.
So, t-shirts easy to do. I would just be very careful with the box art because that's where you're going to run into a lot of cease and desist.
Yeah.
What you want to do is talk to a guy called Scott Bowman. Doesn't do box art, but he does packaging. And he does gather all the parts for his own sets and instructions. And does sell them on his Etsy store.
Because you will start getting, and it's like, and the same thing with Sam. If Sam would start making kits of his license, I'm only saying this, Jacob, because I'm assuming you're going to want to make Batmobiles to sell, and that's. I'm not trying to be a downer or anything. I'm just saying there's going to be a lot of Warner Brothers is going to be like, you can't sell this, you know.
Yeah. I don't
It's
know.
a fine
I feel
line.
like it's more of a grey area when you're selling instructions for a custom build that's inspired by something, you know?
Yes. Yes.
But if you're selling the physical product, you're offering an alternative to the licensed product that they have with Lego.
I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying you're going to be getting letters from lawyers.
Yeah. I mean, I even know some custom minifig companies who've had cease and desist with certain licenses, whilst a competitor who is in some ways more, I don't know, like in some circles, you know, they're more well known, is blatantly doing the same license and has done for years, and it's fine. I just don't understand it.
Yeah, it's whoever you piss off, you know.
Or if whoever just a Google search what they find, you know, and decide to send a letter out, you know.
Yeah, it's like, oh, how can I make
Well, I
money?
run into that problem with getting the minifigures made with some companies didn't want to touch it because they've already had a cease and desist from doing their own designs. And I was like, well, even if you do it as like a private project, and they're like, yeah, it's not worth it. It's not worth the risk, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, other stuff comes under fair use. So, you know, if you say it's characters or, you know, artwork inspired by something, it's such a grey area. I mean, I've talked about this on a previous one, I think one of Spacetime streams about Disney. When they first got over Marvel and Star Wars, they were talking about trying to make it illegal for people to cosplay the characters at conventions because they didn't want
Oh my goodness.
misrepresenting their characters and their IP. And there was so much outcry. They did quietly sort of drop that. But I was like, that's so ridiculous. You're basically going to be hurting the people that are putting money in your pockets. One, it's like free advertising. Two, it would kill an entire community worldwide, you know, if they stopped doing, you know, be able to do cosplay. I mean, yeah, you still have like, you know, DC characters and other stuff, but you know, can you imagine?
I'm guessing they haven't seen what the internet has done to some of their characters.
Yeah. But like, you know, people cosplaying like characters and stuff. Their argument was like, oh, people might mistake them for like officially employed, you know, Disney employees that are representing the characters and the IP. It's like, no, people know when they go to a convention, they're going to see, you know, other attendees cosplaying and stuff, you know?
Oh, that's Disney Marvel's Iron Man.
Yeah. Oh, wait a sec. That Iron Man there didn't wash his hands after going to the toilet. That must mean that every single Disney film doesn't wash their hands. Like, you know what? It's just difficult to see what their point was to it. I guess it comes down to control and stuff. Like, apparently, the one thing they were toying with is having like employees that like they have in the parks where they play as the characters, and having them go into the conventions to represent the characters officially as opposed to letting people cosplay them. It's like,
That's no fun.
It did quietly just get sort of like, oh, we're not going to doing that now. Almost kind of like the whole Amazon cage thing for their employees, where they literally get locked in a cage and only let out at the end of their shift and on their break. Remember that at all?
Yes, I think I do.
But it just shows, like, you think an idea is so dumb that it wouldn't sort of like leave someone's lips, and then you find it's gone through so many levels of like corporate bureaucracy to the point where they were actually considering implementing it.
Yeah, it's like this doesn't leave the boardroom. Oh wait, it did.
Yeah. But yeah, I also, Jacob does say that he thinks he's losing more money than making money. I think that sort of business model wouldn't be profitable for you anyway, even if you didn't have like cease and desist from Warner Brothers or DC or whatever.
Definitely, give the instructions a go.
Yeah, I would definitely do that.
That's where I would start, and then you can always supply part lists and let people put it together themselves. That's going to be your best avenue here. Is mine.
There's plenty of people selling instructions for stuff that and make a successful venture out of it. So I wouldn't say be depressed. We're not trying to put you off. We're just trying to offer you some advice. And again, that's our opinion.
The thing.
I'm not a Disney corporate lawyer.
Yeah.
This is not legal advice. This is just a suggestion of what I've seen, Sam.
But also at the same time, it's experiences, because if the guy from Utah was here, he'd be telling you that his experiences of selling instructions for things like a rocket or the launch tower, he's had those. He's had cease and desist letters for those as well.
What?
Yeah.
For
not
which
from
companies?
From Lego.
Oh.
How would Lego have any rights over that, though?
It's because he used the word Lego in the description and in the heading of the in the title of the ad, and even Sam Bradford as well has had it.
Yeah, because there was someone before who used like their logo was like a construction brick, and it didn't even look like a Lego brick. It looked like someone had just drawn, a generic brick. It could easily have been Mega Constructs, and Lego tried suing him by saying he was using their like intellectual property in his logo or something. I think it was.
You should have responded and said, "Hey, I'm a Mecha Brick YouTuber. I'm not Mecha Brick, Mega Blocks." You're confusing.
I can't remember who it was now. It was someone I think was Sweden, but I think it's because he had like a relationship with Lego that had gone sour. Like at one point, they were sending him free Lego stuff, and then they just
kind of weird how they cannibalize, or not cannibalize, but just go after people they've used to have relations with.
Yeah.
Prime example of that is the chat we were watching last night, Space Time.
Yes.
Who's that?
Kevin Hinkle.
Oh yeah, we talked about Kevin Hinkle before. That's one of the biggest examples. Yeah.
Exactly, the biggest example of how things can turn around on you that quickly.
Well, even Ryan, to an extent, I know he's always kind of had like a little bit of an antagonistic thing, even when he was in the LAN. But like, you think about what he has done in promoting their product.
Yeah.
And how they treated him.
I mean, he's one of the first people I found on YouTube, and that was before he was even that big,
Yeah.
It's almost 5 years ago now. So it's like, I was just typing stuff into YouTube, and like, what do people do with Lego?
And it is really odd, and it's one of those things when you get into the Lego fandom, you get deep into it, you have that sort of conflicting feelings because you love the product and you love on paper their values, but there's so many examples of when it almost seems a bit, I don't know if sinister is the right word, but a bit more underhanded than what you're led to believe,
Yeah,
So what I did the other week with my collection felt good for those reasons, like wanting to distance myself from how they treat people as a business,
Yeah.
or I should say specific individuals, because on a whole, it's like it's a good thing they do.
Yeah. And I will say, when I went to Lego House, the whole experience was fantastic. And how they treated people, the guests, and I think what we're referring to is probably the rare cases, but they're prominent and
Yeah,
should be addressed. And
it's like the board. It's like when the boardroom gets paranoid about something over nothing.
Mm. It's the things that also could easily be fixed by the company as well. They only take someone like higher up going, right, this is not how you treat your fans.
Yeah.
Or we could have handled this better. Like, let's get out in front of that.
And it's and the whole minifig thing about, you can't use that to promote your channel, and it's like, wait, certain people that we allow into our ambassador network, it's okay for them to continue using it because it was hand drawn, or
Well, that's kind of the reason why I changed my profile pic, because at the time I did apply for LAN. And I expected not to get into LAN because at that point, I was even smaller than I am now. But people had encouraged me to do so, and I figured, well, it's an experience. Hopefully, I'll get some feedback, because at the time, people had said they had gotten feedback when they'd been rejected. I think it was when it was a smaller scheme, and it would give me a goal to aim towards. I guess at that point, when I kind of had rose-tinted glasses, and I was like, oh yeah, gotta be part of the LAN. That's the end game, and. The cookie cutter response they gave me was just utter rubbish. And then like other people like Brickstar and Brickatet, when they got rejected and had the same kind of response, and it just like it made no sense. And then other people got into that LAN, and you just kind of felt like, but wait, they broke this rule, or wait, they did this. Like, how does that work out? And it's just one rule for one and another for other people,
And I just love how Greg Brickatet on his channel art to this day still has minifigs on it as like the ultimate of that,
Yeah, I did think about going back to my my sig fig, but I kind of like my artwork, and I still use the sig fig time again. Like when I'm doing videos that like the Ghostbuster torso one, I put mine and Mrs. Crackle's sig fig heads and hair pieces on top of them, and I use an occasional thumbnail, but I kind of feel like I moved on now.
Yeah, I've actually never made a sig fig.
I remember you were going to when the blue hairpiece came out with the Everyone is Awesome set.
Yeah, and then I was like, why?
A question I think we've all asked ourselves at some point.
It's a fair question.
Why? Why not? Oh man, Sam, how is Stargate Command coming along?
Slowly. Let's do something.
Because I've done no work whilst being on this live stream, and I'm going to blame you.
Well, that's fair enough.
Because you've been busy building, I've had to do most of the talking. I feel like I've been hosting this stream.
Well, it's about time you did something. You just come on these streams. You can't get a free ride these days, mate. I don't. You're a big YouTuber. I can't carry you.
I'm not a big YouTuber.
You're bigger than me.
Yeah,
hey, that's what Lady Sam said.
Really?
If I didn't do it, you would.
Yeah, it's true. This is about as far as I've really got tonight.
You're technically like 2 million times bigger than him, but sorry.
But, yeah, I'm not really that far. And I'm going to have debates with colours and various things like that as well.
If I had one thing that I would say is I don't like the round thing in the middle. Can you make that a triangle, maybe?
Yeah,
I can.
I don't know. Those chevrons
Just
are.
start pressing delete. Get rid of it all.
Oh no! Don't do that.
We don't need this round thingy.
You would think that thing would be in a submodel.
Evidently, it wasn't. I just.
I know. I was thinking that actually.
Evidently, it just. When
Considering
I
how
copied it
much
over,
time has gone on at me about submodels.
I know. I thought I would bring that up.
Well done, space time. That was suitably savage observation there.
The good thing is it's digital, so I don't care. As Craggle would say, it's going to be digital only. I'm not going to build this. I don't need submodels.
I didn't say that.
I.
Not those exact words.
All right, maybe I'm. I heard something like that.
I still feel like it was you who led me to the bad habit of turning off collision mode.
Have you noticed that my collision mode isn't on at the moment?
Oh,
I don't use it.
No.
But then
You know
again, I
what,
know how
there
to
was-
place bricks.
There wasn't a lot of stuff that collided with each other, was there?
No, it was literally just the capacitor that was the worst thing.
Yeah.
Everything else was fine. There was no collisions that caused an issue with the build or anything like that. It was literally just the capacitor.
But
That was the only one, and you pointed it out to me. If you hadn't have told me that there are issues when you turned on collision mode, I wouldn't have even noticed.
Well, it's
I
because
would have opened up the
I
build
literally
and
took
run.
it apart in Mecca because obviously it was only in Mecca and you needed the studio file of it. So I was taking it apart and then to see where the parts went internally, and I was like, "Wait, did that just come out of that part?" And I was like, I put the part in the studio and I was like, "There's no way for this to like connect to that. It's just gonna go through it." And I was like, "Okay, well I'll carry on for now." And see how bad it is. And it's got worse and worse. And I was like, okay, I'll send it to Sam, but I'll give him a warning that we have a problem here.
I received your message.
Yeah.
It was understood, and my face went, okay.
It was when you said, I said, "Oh, do you want to go on a call to discuss it?" And you were like, there will be swearing.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad, that one.
No.
Like
I
I
think-
say,
I think
just a
you thought it
couple
was-
of bits.
Yeah, I think you thought it was going to be worse than what it was.
Yeah, I think you built me up with all this excitement and then just like let me down.
Hey,
Yeah, it was just.
I'm known for doing that, particularly with women in my life.
Oh, poor Mrs. Craggle. But yeah, no, that one wasn't that bad. Like I say, the rest of the build was fine. No collisions that were anywhere else. But yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to when we can actually, put these out there into the world and see if people, what they make of it.
me too. Because I think this time round, because you had so many people interested in it from your main video about it, I think it could work. Could work quite well.
Yeah. I kind of wish now I'd held off doing the video until we had the instructions so I could put that on that video, because whether now a follow-up video will do as well, I don't know. But, it is what it is. And I'm still looking forward to it. And also we got the minifigures as well to come, so...
Yes.
Which I realized because I think did you come about this live or do we have a call about this where we said I'm doing 25 of each figure, and then I realized wait I'm gonna want a set for myself, so that means there's actually gonna be 24 to buy.
That was last week on.
And then you were like well, I'm gonna be buying one straight away, so that brings it down to 23. So people, if they want them, are gonna have to act on it.
And me.
Yeah, that's the thing. I am going to be selling them as complete sets initially, and then what doesn't sell them as individually. So, are you going to be wanting like?
I'm gonna go for the whole set.
Oh, okay, cool.
Space time's in it.
That Egon's pretty good, and I'm like, and Phoebe was the best character of the new movie, so like, why not?
Yeah, she was terrific.
I like how you just casually said, "Yeah, that Egon's pretty good."
It's funny because that was the very first thing I designed.
I remember.
I did it like the next day. I think it was the next day. I don't think it was the same day. I think it was the next day. Like from memory of what I'd seen in the film just once, because there was no images of that, obviously.
I remember.
I was still quite pleased with it. I didn't change the design afterwards. I thought I'd have to go back to it and change some stuff, but no.
I remember you sending it to me and being like, "Dude, what do you think?" And I'm like,
Yeah, I had to wait though because I saw the film on the Thursday. You saw the film on Friday, so I had to wait until after you had come back.
Yeah.
To show it to you.
Yeah.
I hope they don't wait too long now before doing another one. I was thinking about this. I mean, obviously, I just realized one thing we haven't talked about that's happened since the last stream is sadly the passing of Ivan Reitman, the fifth Ghostbuster.
Yes. What was that, Monday?
Yeah, apparently it happens on Saturday, but it was Monday it was announced. Yeah.
They just wanted to make sure. I'm sorry. You know, in case they had to call it Ghostbusters.
You know, it's one of those points where you don't want to make jokes.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm too close. Maybe I'm too close to it, but I didn't find that funny. I probably would have found it funny if someone else. So it's probably hit. I'm not gonna like criticize you for making that joke because it's the kind of thing that I could see myself doing. But I know I was hit pretty hard by Ivan's passing this week, just because like Ghostbusters has been such an integral part of my life since I was a kid. It's one thing that I never had a dark age for. Like unlike Lego or even Star Wars, when I kind of went off it for a few years and then came back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had Ghost Trap boxes as party favors on our wedding tables at a wedding reception. You know, I went to New York for my 30th with then my girlfriend, who's now my wife, and we went around locations filming. So it's just. It was really sad. It was also so unexpected because he seemed to be in such good health. Like when he was doing like the press stuff, you know, at end of last year, start of the year. They haven't. I don't think they've said the reason, you know, the cause of death. They just said that he passed in his sleep, and it was unexpected. Yeah. You know, I'm trying to move away, I guess, from talking about the sort of tragedy itself. I was thinking, like, is it going to have an impact on the plans for a sequel? Because obviously, I know Jason has kind of like, prior to this, downplayed any plans for a sequel and said, you know, we've had talks about it, but, you know, I don't know if I would do it, or I don't know if, you know, the studio would be interested in doing it. But obviously, that post-credit scene definitely, you know, kind of left an avenue for them to go with Winston, you know, taking the Ecto one back to the firehouse, seeing the containment unit flashing. And I wondered with this now, with Ivan passing, would that mean that they were, you know, Jason in particular, was he less or more likely to do another film? Is he more likely because, you know, like how he had something to say with how Ramos is passing, he'll want to pay tribute to his father in this one? Or is he less likely because, you know, I can imagine it being a painful experience because his father was by his side throughout the whole making of Ghostbusters Afterlife, almost as a co-director, you know?
Yeah.
And would he want to do that experience without his father being there?
Yeah, so, it's something to ponder, and you know, I want to hope that they will do another one, but
yeah, as a fan, absolutely.
But you know, you at the same time, you've got to respect personal circumstances and wishes and things like that.
I mean, you also got. I don't want to like try and compare like apples to grapes or whatever, but you know, you think about what happened with Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight, you know, and I think Christian Bale and Christopher Nolan have both said that part of the reason why it took him so long to do the third movie was because of how Heath Ledger's passing affected them. I mean, just from a story point of view, obviously, I think if they'd had ideas for the third film, he was going to be part of that, so that would have had to be changed. But also, I don't think they felt comfortable going back to that franchise for a long time until they had like time to sort of properly grieve and then sort of go, okay, we can go into it. And the result was a film then that didn't even mention the Joker. It's a bit different, I guess, with Ghostbusters, but I kind of feel like, oh, could this, delay plans? Could it make Jason not want to do it? Could it make him actually think, no, I want to do it now and do one, for my father to show that he has passed it on to me? It's.
Yeah.
I feel like it makes it a little bit more uncertain, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah, it does.
Whereas previously, I was pretty certain we would see another film be announced, like, in the coming weeks after the home release numbers start coming in. Because I tell you what, in my local Asda, the Ghostbusters Afterlife sold out on day one home release.
Did you really?
Yeah, there was not a single DVD or Blu-ray copy of it. They sold out.
And I took advantage of that.
And on that, it's 2.5 hours.
It is.
We've been going that long.
I kind of feel like you need to see something cheerful now, because I kind of feel like, as much as I wanted to sort of pay tribute to Ivan Reitman, I feel like we've kind of gone on a bit of a downer.
I can do a quick screen share. Things are looking nice again.
Yeah, go on,
okay. Yeah, do that.
Yeah, that would be
Write
a good
the place up again before we say ta-ta. There it is. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
So, yep, all the floors are in as submodels, and then the central plane they'll connect to using studs, and then the steps going up will connect to those studs. And yeah, I just need to figure out how am I going to do, because ideally this thing would be extremely square, because it's basically this facade on each side of the building minus like the table and the terror dogs. So it's like, do I really want to build like a true building, or should I don't know, make something up so I don't have to build this terrace thing like 4 times. But yeah. So for Ivan.
Yeah, I'm liking it.
Love it.
Cool.
So, obviously, normally I would wrap it up by saying, Space Time, what are you working on and what do you want us to look out for? But I think you've kind of covered that.
Yeah, I think so.
Craggle, front and center, I suppose.
Hello. Well, someday soon I hope to finish the Back to the Future custom minifigure series video, so keep an eye out for that. I do have some other projects in the pipeline. As we've talked about a few times on the stream, we've got instructions for my Ghostbusters Afterlife inspired Dirt Farm set coming soon. And also we do have some custom minifigures based on Egon, Phoebe, and Gozer the Gozerian also on the way. So, and they're going to be limited to 25, one of which I've already claimed for myself. Sam's got dabs on one, Space Time's got dabs on another. So, they're already selling out fast. So make sure that you've got your finger on the pulse to nab those up as soon as they go live.
Excellent. And I certainly look forward to those minifigures coming out, because I'm a little bit excited about them. As for me, what is it? Next Saturday? Next Saturday, I'm not working at an event, so there will most likely be another Unfiltered live stream.
Well, hey.
I think that's probably been the most consistent month.
You've been pretty consistent this year, in all fairness.
Yeah, that was consistent out of all of us.
Don't give me that credit.
So what is next then the first of the spring Wang?
I'll tell you what.
We'll get back to you.
Yeah, we'll get back to you. We'll get back to you on that one. but yeah, another unfiltered stream next Saturday. So make sure you join us. Yes, I am still working on Craggle's dirt farm instructions, which hopefully will see a remarkable improvement tomorrow. Obviously, having a bit of time off and stepping away from them is a good idea before I rage quit our friendship, as Craggle quite put it earlier. So yeah, just taking that as it comes and getting that through. So hopefully that will be done soon, and then I can get back to some other things I need to do or want to do, or
like the real Ghostbusters one.
Yeah, maybe. Either that or some sonic screwdrivers. I don't know which ones. One of the two, and in the background, I'll keep building Stargate Command that Andy you suggested. Yeah. Give me something to do when I'm sat at hotels later on in the year.
Oh yeah, I also forgot. So members only live stream tomorrow for my channel members. You could be there for the low price of 99 pence or 99 cents US. Sam Jones, are you going to join us?
I will be there.
Space Time, are you going to join us?
At what time?
Probably like 7:30 UK time, so kind of similar to this one, I guess.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Cool, awesome.
And in that case, then, if you are a member, we will see you there tomorrow. But if not, just want to say thank you to Neely for showing up today, Jacob Neely as well, Clicking Cliff, Mrs. Craggle, Lady Sam B, a guy called Cut the Craggle as well. Is that everybody who entered the chat? I think it is. Wow, we have quite a few people around today. So yeah, thanks for everybody for joining us, and we will certainly see you next week. Bye.
Bye.